do you guys have with food trucks?
Other than, I think honestly, most of the times that I've ever been to a food truck, it's been obviously at a fair, or probably with you, Robert, on our drunken escapades.
Good.
I would say my experience with food trucks is pretty extensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I patronize food trucks at every opportunity.
Would you say more so in Austin than when you were in Columbus, or
The opportunity here is just greater, so yeah. But
Okay.
I mean, even in the Midwest, I was all about them.
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to talk about it because this past weekend was the Columbus Food Truck Fest, which by and large is nowhere near comparable, I think, to Chicago's. I've heard a lot of good things about Chicago's like big food truck gathering over the summer.
Was the one in Columbus at Easton?
No, so last year it was done at the Columbus Commons, right downtown, kind of behind the Ohio Theater.
Okay.
And this year they decided to do it right on the Scioto, right on the like in Bicentennial and all around there.
Okay.
So yeah, this was my second year going. Had a lot of fun. Spent probably way more money than I should have. But yeah, that's kind of how food truck fests go. And I just kind of wanted to tell you guys about one food item I found that's like kind of my favorite thing ever. So it was at this food truck that's like Cincinnati based, and they do kind of like, one of their big menu items was a poutine. Right.
Good poutine. Nothing like it. Colin, have you partook in a poutine?
No, but I've always wanted to.
Do you know
what?
Do you know what it is?
Oh. Yeah, it's like French fries covered in gravy, right?
And
My friend, you are forgetting the key ingredient, which is the cheese curds.
Oh yeah, that's what I was forgetting. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah,
Poutine all the
that's
way.
your basic poutine. Now, what these guys do, they take it a step above. So it's your poutine. So you've got the cheese curds, you've got the gravy, which is like an onion-based gravy. So it had like an oniony flavor that was really good, on top of waffle fries. But
Nice.
between the gravy and the fries was a root beer and wine marinated shredded lamb. Yeah.
Oh, God, please.
They're just getting like ridiculous now with the remixes.
And they top it with a very over easy egg. So the yolk is still extremely runny. You just pop it and it just flows all over your fries.
I'm definitely getting hungry now.
Yeah, let me just go clean this drool off myself.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
It's really good. But my
What was the
favorite
name of
thing
that
about
truck
it,
again?
Hungry Bros.
Okay.
Based in Cincinnati, I believe.
Okay.
But my favorite thing was the name of the food dish. It's the Vladimir Poutine.
Oh my God.
Like, I bought it based on the name alone. I didn't even look at the description because I was like, oh, I'm buying that. That's a fun name, and I will always pay for a fun name. If anything about previous podcasts has shown, I'm a sucker for fun names.
It's almost like kind of a requirement now, right? With food trucks, like you have to have some stupid name for everything. Even the food truck itself, sometimes like it's a fried egg, I'm in love, or it's like all different kinds of names like that. That's what I've seen at least.
Is that a food truck around your place?
I got that reference.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
I got it.
Yeah, they got fun names here too. They got Chicky Chicky Waffle for a chicken and waffles kind of cart. I had one of their things too. It's actually pretty good. They did they fry the chicken in waffle batter and then also serve you the waffle.
Are you kidding me?
This is reminding me. Have you guys seen that SNL skit where they like take a pizza and like fold it in half and then like wrap it in like tacos shells or whatever and then like dip the whole thing in like blueberry pancake batter and then like deep fry it? This kind of sounds like this a little bit.
That sounds like Epic Mealtime is what that sounds like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
all kind of the same.
Speaking of Epic Mealtime, is that still a thing? Like, I haven't heard about Epic Mealtime in like years.
I couldn't tell you. I know that their quality and content, in my opinion, has declined.
Oh yeah.
Recently.
Yeah, because I don't think is the one dude even do it anymore. What's his name? Like Harley or whatever.
The problem is they got too big for their britches. Like I think they got signed to some kind of TV deal or something stupid, and then it just kind of all declined from there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually,
muscles, glasses.
Yeah,
but he left early.
Oh,
yeah,
he was my favorite.
The bearded dude used to be my buddy was telling me one day he used to be a history teacher or something. And then he just started doing this YouTube thing on the side, and then it just blew up into this huge thing. So
I always liked the
okay.
guy too. I never knew their names, but the guy who would eat everything with just a fork and knife, like real dainty like.
Yeah. It was just so perfect juxtaposed to like, here's our 1 billion calorie meatloaf. And
dude,
eat
I
it with a
remember
fork and
my
knife.
favorite. Yeah, my favorite thing I ever seen them make was like fast food lasagna. Did you ever see that episode?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that thing was horrendous.
They go to like 5 different fast food joints like McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and they get like 12 to 15 burgers each, and then they just put a layer of burger, cheese, marinara, another layer of burgers like in this giant baking pan until it's this huge fast. I think it was like 19,000 to 20,000 calories, something dumb like that, but it was like fast food burger lasagna. And then, of course, they just take out a huge slice at the end and then just dunk or just pour like whiskey all over or something and start eating it.
Oh my God.
Like,
dude, I think, was it the same episode? They did something with like McDonald's breakfast or something. And I remember the dude was going to the drive thru and he's like, could I get like 50 Egg McMuffins, but like only the ham disc, just the ham disc.
Wow.
The lady's like, did I hear you right? Did you say 50?
Yeah. 5-0, lady.
yeah.
Chop,
that sounds about right for them. Welcome to the Tiny Disc Podcast, the podcast about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
I didn't have anything prepared. But bong bong anyways, everybody.
There it is. And Colin Sparling.
What a gloomy day.
All
Way
right,
to start off.
do we need to talk?
Because everyone
Are you-
says it's been a great day, you know. Sometimes you gotta contrast that, man.
So you're just being contrarian for the sake of being contrarian.
Because I'm a what's that word? Hipster. Yeah.
So you're just lying to the people now.
Yeah, did that eclipse invert your outlook on life now?
How'd you know?
Just thought I'd ask.
Speaking of the eclipses, anyone suffer any permanent eye damage as a result?
I was smart. I wore my glasses.
You're, like
You
the
actually had
special
glasses. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My roommate had an extra pair.
Yeah, same
Nice,
here. I went
nice,
to a
yeah.
local library, got one of those glasses where you can't see anything through them for a while.
Yeah, and then you couldn't see anything anyway because it was cloudy.
Yep, that's the story of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Doesn't
Case closed.
doesn't it shine through the clouds or no?
I mean, if there's a thin enough layer, but like we were getting big stormish type clouds like rolling through, like
okay.
scattered
Yeah.
about, and
Like
it was just
thunderstorms.
awful. Yeah, it was bad. And then my
sucks.
roommate's Snapchatting me from Oregon because he lives in Oregon now, or my last roommate, and he's like, yeah, all ready for the eclipse with his welder's mask on. Fucking
Nice.
welding on your ears.
This is the first time like an eclipse has hit America, right? With like the internet being a thing. I'm pretty sure, at least a total eclipse. I mean, it was the 70s before a total eclipse. Last time total
Maybe.
eclipse hit America, yeah. And it was just cool seeing like all the satellite imagery. And I think, you know, most people were, I saw a lot of people where I was holding up the glasses, like the lens up to their phone and trying to take a picture that way. And I'm like, it's so much easier just to go to nasa.com and just take a screenshot. Like, if you want a good photo, like do it that way.
And they'll be infinitely better quality too.
Yeah. So
I mean, dude, there was some crazy stuff that came out of that, though. I was scrolling through Twitter, and these people were like, oh, yeah, on the airplane, the eclipse is happening. And there's just like, you just see it. It's just an amazingly clear view. And the guy's like, oh, my God, it's an eclipse. Blah, blah. Yeah.
Did you guys see that one photo that was circulating with the airplane and the vapor trails behind the airplane, like flying directly through the middle of like the 80% kind of eclipse? You guys didn't see that, did you?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was sick. It's like number 1 on Reddit that day, and then the day afterwards. And the guy had to like copyright the image because like a intellectual property lawyer like contacted him. It's like, dude, this is gonna be worth something. You need to register this photo. It was really sick. You guys got to check it out later. I guess you just search like airplane eclipse 2017, maybe. Who knows?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it happened. It was a thing, and the next one will be what?
7 years, I think.
7 years from now, yeah,
7, 8 years.
right through Central Texas. So that'll be cool.
Sticking around.
If I'm still here, I don't know. I'm looking at houses. I'm looking to make some moves, but it's a cool town. I don't know if I'll be here that long. Who can say what happens in 7 years, right? But
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I would certainly, wherever I was, I'd certainly consider maybe coming down here. It'd be a good excuse to come back.
I came here to see the eclipse and hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
So, Robert,
Hi.
Jack and I were talking to you about roller coasters the other day, and we'd come to the conclusion that you had never been to Cedar Point as long as you've lived in Ohio.
Yep, and let's move on to the next topic on our list.
What are you scared of?
It's not
What's
even
the worst that can happen on a roller coaster?
Are you seriously asking that question?
What, you're just scared of barfing a little bit on yourself?
No,
Or,
dude,
like,
I think he
dying?
watched Final Destination 3 too many
He's
times.
scared of dying.
Oh my god.
This is an actual statistic. This is an actual statistic. Literally, I can't talk. Statistic. You are actually like 100 times, something ridiculous like that, safer on the roller coaster than you are traveling to and from the theme park.
No, and I get that. Like, I'm someone who isn't even afraid of like flying planes, you know? Like, it's just that roller coaster, like the idea of like, let me expose myself to like 5+ G's for a couple minutes. Like, that's just completely uninteresting to me.
Oh, what? No, if you got to feel alive, man. You got to feel the wind in your hair,
God.
the bugs splattering on your face.
It's so great. Roller coasters are like one of my favorite inventions.
Hold on. Have you've ridden a roller coaster though before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, where and when?
Let me think. I've been on one in Florida, not Disneyland or World, whichever one's there.
Busch Gardens?
Yeah, there. That's where I went to, but that was like really young. And then more recently in Seoul in Lotte World, which is like
Man, Korea does not fuck around with the roller coasters
Oh
either.
no, they're big. They're good.
They have some serious ones. They have one in Japan, I want to say. It's only like the car is very small. It only seats 4 people at a time, but it goes beyond 90 degrees the first drop. Ugh. If that makes sense. It goes like 120 degrees, something dumb like that.
Dude,
it's
give
so
me it.
awesome.
Give
I know.
me it.
That sounds so
wanna
incredible.
know.
You're like almost upside down. It's like incredible.
Yeah, dude, it blew my mind when, do you remember when the Maverick came out at Cedar Point, Jack?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like everyone was like freaking out because that first hill goes 95 degrees, whatever.
It's sweet. I loved it. It's not that tall either, but it's effective. And it launches you up, right? Like those magnets, like launch
dude,
you
it gets
up
you
the
up
hill
there quick. Dude, it's still my favorite roller coaster there.
It's very alarming when you're used to a roller coaster just going up the first hill, click, 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 click. It's very alarming the first time one just goes, no, fuck you. You're like, wait a second.
Dude.
This is
I'm not ready.
Too fast.
Yeah, dude. The Maverick and the Millennium Force do that. Dude, like going from like the Magnum, which is the old school like chain link kind of thing, to like something like the Maverick is wow. Yeah,
no, the Maverick is cool too because it has that middle launch in the middle, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, I used to be crazy about this stuff because I used to read like stats on the roller coasters and stuff. I was obsessed with Cedar Point. But like they were because they first announced the coaster like, yeah, you're gonna start out going like 50 miles an hour, then you're gonna go in this tunnel and they're gonna stop you, and then you're gonna go launched back out at like 75 miles an hour. I'm like, oh my god, please, yes.
Give it to me, yeah. Robert, let me ask you, so since you've been in the continental US, have you ridden a roller coaster?
No.
Wow. And how long's that been? 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years or so.
Wow. And no desire either. I can see it on your face.
No, like little to no desire.
Would you even consider riding one in VR?
No, because that sounds even stupider.
It's actually interesting, but it would make that makes me more motion sick. To have the sensation of moving like that without your body actually feeling those, it makes me sicker faster.
Right.
Than I would ever get on a roller coaster.
Like the way I think of it, like the reason you get on a roller coaster is because you want to feel all those sweet, sweet G's on your body, you know, and feel like you're going crazy. Whereas with VR, it's kind of like this jokey middleman that kind of makes no sense. Like, why would you bother doing like, you know, you're trying to get on a roller coaster without actually getting on a roller coaster. It kind of feels like a cop out.
To me, it's the novelty of feeling just how easy it is to manipulate the brain, the human brain, right? You can actually feel like you are 500 feet in the air and you're really just sitting at your desk like you always are, you know? It's just like a novel thing, at least the first few times. So I did want to bring up, though, Cedar Point just recently announced their latest roller coaster, Steel Vengeance, which will be out next May 2018. And guys, it's a hyper coaster. It's based on roughly the old frame of the Mean Streak, which is wooden roller coaster, and wooden is 100% like my favorite genre of roller coasters. It always has been ever since I rode the Beast for the first time in Kings Island. But this is a hyper coaster now, and it's a hyper hybrid coaster or whatever. Because
so when they say what does hyper coaster mean? Exactly?
Well, I mean, the easiest way to say this is the Steel Vengeance, when it comes out at Cedar Point, it's going to be shattering 10 world records in this one coaster.
Excuse me.
Yes, 10 world records. So let me explain to you what a hybrid coaster is, though, because traditionally you have steel, okay, on a track, or on a rail, and then you have like wooden, right? And the wooden roller coasters are always a little more rinkety, and obviously, they're a little scarier, honestly, and a little more rough with you. The ride is a lot rougher.
Ride the blue streak.
Yeah, you could definitely like bruise your arms on some of these wooden roller coasters out there. And I've seen in Cedar Point, there's another wooden roller coaster. I can't remember one. It's not a huge one though, but I've seen it flex. Like when the car goes on it. No, I can't. It's kind of
Mean
to
Streak, Blue Streak, and Gemini.
If you're looking at the if you're looking at Top Thrill Dragster, it's like to the left side of it. It's in like Frontier Town or something like that.
That's probably Mean Streak.
It's not Mean Streak. It's a smaller roller coaster. Anyways, It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but it's a smaller one. But I've seen the whole track like flex like that when the people are like on the train on top. And I'm waiting in line. I'm sitting here watching this like, that's going to break like any minute now. Like maybe we shouldn't get on the thing, but we did and we ended up okay. Anyways, so the hybrid style coasters are kind of the best of both worlds. So you have the wooden frame, you have the wooden build, but the rail itself is very, very smooth, and the ride typically is much smoother and much faster than you'd be able to get on a traditional wooden coaster, because wooden coasters can't really handle certain speeds without being like almost unsafe. And so I mentioned earlier, Steel Vengeance breaks 10 different world records. So I'll just read off some of them for you. So if you ride this coaster one time next spring in Cedar Point, what you're going to do is you're going to be on the world's tallest hybrid roller coaster, the world's fastest, the world's steepest drop on a hybrid roller coaster, 90-degree drop, the world's longest drop on a hybrid coaster, 200 feet, the world's longest hybrid coaster period at 5,740 feet, the most inversions on a hybrid coaster before, the fastest air time on a hybrid roller coaster, 73 miles an hour, the most air time, so the ride is about 2 minutes or so roughly. 27.2 seconds of that 2 minutes, you're going to be in the air feeling weightless, which is pretty crazy sounding.
Dude, yes.
So then it has that. So it has the most airtime, and then not just of any hybrid roller coaster, but then it breaks a second record with the most airtime of any coaster in the world. Then it's also the world's first hybrid roller coaster like this. So it is completely insane. And we're going to draw this back to video games, I promise. Planet Coaster, just 3 days after Cedar Point announced this, they're like, oh, by the way, you can ride that, or you can like just ride this now in our game. It's in the game now with the latest patch for free, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and that's really good cross promotion too on Cedar Point's part. You're like, hey, we're gonna announce this now. Actually, yeah, like we're gonna announce this now. We'd love to have it in the game. That game is super uber popular, probably the best theme park game of the times right now. Mm-hmm. It's on my wish list for sure, but it's just really exciting. And I went, and you can also like kind of do like a simulation ride on YouTube. Cedar Point likes to do that as well now. So I'm really, really excited. I mean, as if you didn't already have enough reasons to love Cedar Point. I mean, I remember last year Valraven was the big deal, and it's like 2 huge coasters, world record breaking coasters, 2 years in a row. That's so awesome.
Yeah, Gatekeeper and Valraven. Valraven was definitely better than Gatekeeper in my opinion. But I wasn't like super duper impressed by Valraven personally. I don't know. Did you ride it, Jack? You rode it, right?
Yeah, I rode it a couple times. So I hate to come out like this, but I just don't have time anymore to wait. So I splurged on the fast passes.
So how effective was that actually?
It's so good. I got to ride so many roller coasters that I actually got nauseous because I was doing it at such a clip. Right, you just walk to one, boom, go. Walk to one, boom. Literally, Valraven. This is like the debut year, last May or whatever. I literally walk up, and without even breaking stride, I just walk past about 500 people probably. Don't even break stride. The guy waves us on. And he's like, "Here you go. Here's your seat. Sit down."
That's so great.
Like I said, without even stopping for a split second, just strolled right on, put the seatbelt on, and got to ride it. So turns out when you ride roller coasters that fast, that's when you start getting sick.
Yeah, I've never actually done it that fast because I've never had the money to splurge on a fast pass. Dude, they're like what, $150?
I don't know. I think it's like 120, but still, it's ridiculous.
On top of the Tipic.
for a day.
On top of the ticket. the ticket. Jesus, I can't talk. But
Tipics included. And parking. So no, but it's not cheap. I'm not recommending this for everybody, but I do recommend it at least once if you just want to feel like royalty, and if you just want to catch the side eye and the ire of like thousands of people at one time. Like, people were giving me dirty looks, and I don't blame them. Like, why does this guy get to ditch us? He just has a little bit more money. Like,
well, dude, you go there for one day. You got to make sure you got to have a good day, because you're spending a lot of money there anyway. So it's worth it to spend a little bit more to make sure you're having a good day there.
I figured it'd be a very long time before I come back to Ohio, let alone Cedar Point. So I was like, we're going to do this right this last time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry, Robert. Go ahead.
How did it feel to be the top 1% for once in life?
I recommend it. it.
Here at that Wall Street, we recommend it.
So like, ladies and gentlemen, the best park in the world, Cedar Point, best amusement park in the world.
Clearly, that's one thing that Texas, I think, is lacking in. There is like a Six Flags or something down here, but there's no like great roller coasters. You kind of have to travel to Florida or California, I guess. You're kind of in the middle of both, so you can take your pick. But no, Cedar Point clearly is the clear winner. It's the best. If you like roller coasters, that's where you need to go. So what are your top? All right. I'm not even going to ask you, Robert, because you probably haven't even ridden 3 coasters in your life.
I have. Don't know their names, but I have.
So what are like your top 3?
I mean,
that either you have rode or like are on your bucket list to ride, right?
Well, so my favorite coaster of all time is actually the Maverick, because it's just so dynamic.
It's fun. I definitely had bugs like slap me in the face when I was in the front row. That's the danger of that that one.
What I like about it is it's got a lot of stuff going on. It's constantly like whipping you around and kind of beating the shit out of you, which I kind of like. And it's always like flipping you upside down or like making you go faster. It's always doing something. That's what I like about it. There's no boring second of that coaster.
Is there a loop in that one?
It does those like what do they call them, horseshoe rolls or whatever.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah. I mean, I think it's trying to simulate. It's called Maverick. It's trying to simulate like riding like a wild horse.
Yeah, like a wild. Yeah, and it's exactly what it feels like, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it's going for. It's successful in that.
Yeah, but it's like, it may not be like the tallest or the fastest, but it's the most dynamic in my opinion. That's why I like it. That's why it's my favorite.
Yeah, that 95-degree drop makes all the difference.
Dude, that drop, even though it's not huge, like it gets you every time. Because it's just like, you get there like, okay, this is, oh shit.
I can't wait to see Robert ride the Millennium Force or something like that.
Dude, like,
bring your Depends, man.
I wish I could ride the Millennium Force for the first time again, because like I remember how badly I was shitting my pants the first time I rode it.
I mean, just how steep that incline is and how fast it goes. It's just like mind blowing. It was the world's first like giga coaster, right?
Right.
It kind of started the arms race. So okay, so Maverick's up there for you. I think that's a good pick.
So like, I mean, I have a small like sample size to pick from, because I've basically only been to Cedar Point.
Okay. Well, still, that's good stuff. And again, if there's one that you know of that you haven't rode yet that is like on your bucket list, like two more.
Which one is the tallest in the world still? Is it still the King Dakar at like Six Flags somewhere?
Yeah. As far as I know, yeah.
I want to ride that just to say I did it, but it's literally just a dragster, which with an extra bunny hill and an extra 10 feet on the big hill itself, I think, or something like that. It's stupid, and it goes like 10 miles an hour faster. But when you're going 120, I don't think you're gonna notice that much of a difference anyway.
Right.
But,
miles per hour.
Yeah. So, Millennium's a close second.
It's a classic.
Maverick for me.
It's so smooth, man. Yeah, it's so
it
smooth.
is. It's really smooth. It's so much fun. And honestly, in terms of coasters I've rode for my top 3, my third one would probably be Magnum, because thing is, every time I go to Cedar Point, Magnum never has a long wait.
That's
almost
true.
Never.
Yeah.
And it like, so you can ride it like 3 or 4 times in a row. It's fun. It's like, it's decently huge. It's got a decent amount going on. You get a nice view of the lake. You get the especially on a hot day, man, you ride that and you get the nice lake breeze coming off there.
Thing about the Magnum for me is that it's very unsmooth for a steel coaster. Like it's very rough. Like you don't expect that. You're like, oh, okay.
It's an earlier one. It was built in 89. I think.
Yeah. It was the first one of its kind. When I was a little kid back then, I thought like it was like going past the clouds, just like, like you think stupid stuff when you're younger. But
yeah, my dad was like, he was telling me when he was a kid, when he went there, man, he was 16, I think, when it came out. 15 or 16, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, I remember like the first time my friends rode it, I refused, like I was scared shitless to get on the Magnum, and I was like, that's so funny. But he's like, yeah, but now he rides everything.
I'm so excited for Steel Vengeance. I've seen it. I've like gone through the FOV video or the POV video. I'm so pumped for that. I can't wait to just experience that, you know, breaking 10 world records, you know,
dude,
in
for
one
sure.
Go. I think that Valraven is a little bit underrated. I think that first drop is incredible. Like I
need to ride it again.
You look at it and you're just like, okay, that looks fine. But then when you actually experience what a dive coaster does, which, Robert, what it does is it takes you to the very edge and then it just tips you there and it stops completely for like 2 or 3 seconds and then just free falls 90 degrees straight down. So you go from standing still. So you go up to the top and you stop right at the edge. 2, 1, boom. It's awesome.
It's like riding the Power Tower, but on a coaster.
Yeah, it's so that one. I mean, maybe I just kind of have my launch goggles on, right? And since it's newer, it's like more, you know, it's more attractive to me right now. But I really enjoy that one. I would never not ride that going to Cedar Point. And then for me, my most favorite roller coaster of all time doesn't even exist anymore. It's so sad, but Son of Beast at Kings Island was at the time the nastiest, most aggressive, roughest wooden roller coaster on the planet. And it actually had a loop in it. It was the only wooden roller coaster with a loop in it. And so many people, and I rode it like that a couple times. I was lucky enough to get in quickly because so many people got injured on that they had to they ended up taking the loop out of it completely. And then even after that, the rest of the ride was so rough and it was such a liability, they had to tear down the whole roller coaster because too many people were like going to the ER and stuff.
Ugh.
And I loved every minute of it. It was so awesome.
Robert's looking at us like, you crazy bastards.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
I'm just waiting.
Yeah. So, like,
Robert, we're doing this. We're going to Cedar Point. We're going to ride Steel Vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
hype.
can't wait.
Get hyped.
Wait, so what's your 2 and 3, Jack? Real quick.
Oh, that wasn't. Didn't I just name 3 of them?
Yeah, he named 3.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wait, what was your other 2? You said
What
Son
was
of
it?
Beast and then
Steel Vengeance, Son of Beast, and now I can't remember what the other one was.
Valraven.
Valraven, yeah.
Man, I don't even give a shit about roller coasters. Come on, Collin.
Collin sitting here, he's just too excited about next spring that comes out.
yeah,
so.
dude. Like, I'm stoked. Honestly, so real quick, so there's actually one ride at Cedar Point that I refuse to ride. I have ridden it, but anymore I won't ride it.
Wait, it's a roller coaster or just a ride?
It's a ride.
Oh, I don't do rides.
Yeah, see, I don't either. But at least
What
usually.
happened? Who hurt you? Who hurt you, Collin?
Where did he
Power
touch you?
Tower.
Why? What's wrong with that one? It just drops you, right?
So here's the thing. So Power Tower, I mean, like the dropping thing, because it's cool, whatever. But like, there was a Six Flags over in I forget where. It was a Six Flags somewhere here in the U.S. But they had a similar ride that was identical to the Power Tower. It was called like the Superman Tower of Power or something stupid, some ripoff. And what had happened was some person got like raised to the top of it. And what happened was, as they were going down, one of the cables snapped, one of the lift cables.
No.
I'm not shitting you. This is a
No,
thing
I
that
know.
really happened.
I'm just saying no.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And one of the cables snapped, not shitting you, cut clean through that dude's foot.
Nice.
Dude.
Yeah. Clean through, gone. Amputee instantly. I'm like, nope.
Oh,
I ain't taking that risk.
That's horrendous. I mean, they say that that's one of the big reasons why the most dangerous job in the world is working on the top of aircraft carriers, because that arresting cable, that the hooks, you know, when a jet plane is coming to land in on those, you're trying to land on like less than 100 feet and you're trying to stop from like 350 miles an hour to 0. So they can't stop like that without like attaching to this cable. Sometimes those snap. And when you have that much force, that much weight, that much power and potential energy snapping like that, it goes clear across, it goes into the water across the back of the aircraft carrier. And if you're standing there and that happens, you're just gone now.
You're done. It's like that scene in what movie? Ghost Ship. You remember that?
Yeah, you just cease to be.
Yeah.
That's a closed casket funeral. That's not a good time.
Jesus.
That's
Can we
brutal,
talk about something happy now?
Yeah, let's. Robert's like, fuck you guys and your roller coasters and your thrill rides.
Ooh, okay. What do you want to talk about, Robert? What, video games? What kind of podcast do you think this was?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we market ourselves in one way. We got to do something. So yeah, let's talk about some video games. Colin, did you want to talk about a game you've been playing, or do you want me to start this off?
You can start it off because we talked a lot in the last section. So
Okay, so for the past couple weeks, I've been playing a lot of Tales of Berseria. You guys familiar with this title?
How do you
Yes,
say that?
please
And
tell me.
What language is that?
It's pronounced Berseria, and it's in the language of Japanese fantasy. You know,
Japanese it's a whole separate dialect of
Yeah.
Japanese.
It kind of is, though. Like, tell me that the names of any of the Final Fantasy worlds are English words. You know what I
Fair
mean?
enough.
That's true. Like Evilise.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eos.
I can't think of the other ones. Yeah, Eos.
Midgar.
Right.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yeah, Tales of Berseria is what I've been playing. I'm probably about like 20 hours into it.
Please tell me it's good.
Oh, it's really, really good. It's part of that Tales of series that's kind of been around, I think, as long as Final Fantasy, if I remember right.
The first one I remember is Tales of Fantasia on PlayStation 1.
I want to
Maybe
say
Fantasia was on
SNES?
Super Famicom,
Yeah.
then later released on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Tales of Destiny was on PS1.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
no.
remember it being around in the SNES era. But yeah, Berseria is the most recent title in this series. It came out, I think, February, March-ish of this year. And I decided to pick it up on a Steam sale. So I've been playing it a bit, and it's pretty good. It's definitely like, if you're into good JRPGs, it's definitely one of the better ones that I could recommend. You know, it has that active time battle system. Well, not active time battle, it's Final Fantasy, but it's like an active fighting system. You know, so you have like your stamina that you use, and then you do a couple punches, and then your stamina's depleted, and you have to wait a little bit for your stamina to be regained.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not necessarily turn-based, and it's a lot of like, you could button mash your way through every fight, but there's always like the optimal, you know, learn your enemy's weakness, and then like use the abilities that you have that like target that weakness. So you can get through fights a lot faster. Because there are so many enemies on the overworld and so many like battles you can run into, so you kind of want to learn that quicker to be able to go through the overworld a lot quicker.
Is it a grind fest?
It can feel that way sometimes, yeah, even when you're just trying to progress through an area. I've been playing the game so far, like most of those games I play it as I usually try to clear each map before moving on to the next area, you know, because like you see the enemies walking around.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the nice thing about those. I mean, they do throw a lot of enemies at you, at least from past Tales games that I've played, but they always throw enough at you that you never really have to grind towards the end of the game. It's
Yeah.
like you're pretty at the level that you need to be by the time you get to like the final boss or whatever.
Right, like because at this point now I'm like almost steamrolling through a couple things, and like I'm not getting that much XP out of it, so
Okay,
I've
yeah.
been kind of like skipping around and stuff, and it does kind of make backtracking a bit annoying. But I think the thing that gripped me the most about the story is that like you two have played a couple JRPGs in your time, right?
Right.
Just a few. Just a
Just
few
a couple.
choice selections, yeah.
Yeah, and you know how some JRPGs, they can take a while to get into, like I'm talking multiple hours to kind of like get into the swing of things.
It's a problem of the genre is that they take way too long to get warm.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to
systemic,
find one.
yeah. I hate that.
It's hard to find one that has like a crazy opening or whatever. It's like how many times am I going to wake up as a dude with amnesia and this like talk to fucking the same 5 people in a village for like the first 5 hours?
Yeah, welcome to Tales of the Abyss.
I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles did a good job at walking the line between, you know, a lot of story in the beginning versus when do you actually get out and get your feet wet, so to speak.
Oh
That's
yeah,
one
I
of
can
the-
agree with that. Yeah,
one of
they
the
kind
better
of just throw you in.
examples.
Yeah. And I mean, so I think it's a common thing we can say that in JRPGs, it can take a while, maybe not even necessarily to feel good about the game you're playing, but kind of like, you know, getting to that point where you feel like, what's the point of playing this game? You know, like answering that question can take a while sometimes in JRPGs. Within the first hour of playing Tales of Berseria, the hook is really, really good. Like the
Nice.
hook they give you in that first hour is so strong and so good. It like I was playing it and one of my roommates was like just sitting in the living room watching me play it, and he was just like on his phone like texting people or like playing phone games or whatever, like kind of doing his own thing while I was just playing it on the TV. And by the time I got to the point where it's like okay, I get the story now. I noticed he hadn't been looking at his phone for the past like 20 minutes. Like he was just staring at
Nice.
the TV too.
Are you Steam linking it?
Yeah, I Steam linked it.
And the lag isn't too bad on that?
No, it's pretty solid.
And you're able to use the Xbox 360 controller?
I used the Xbox One controller. I have one of the
Nice.
newer ones that's Bluetooth, so I can connect it to the Bluetooth of the Steam Link.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah. No, I think it's really impressive. I mean, I'm not going to say too much about the story, of course. I don't want to like spoil it in case there are people interested in playing the game. But it's definitely a huge vengeance story. You know, you play as the main character, Velvet, and the whole game, so far at least, is just her trying to kill one guy who did her really, really wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And the first hour of the story is like you playing through that part where like, you know, he does the stuff that makes Velvet so mad. And I have to say the thing that impressed me a lot about that beginning part is I don't remember the voice actress's name, but she's the one who voices Velvet. And in the beginning, you know, you're playing as Velvet and she's like this nice, sweet girl, you know, she's just like a small town girl living in a lonely world, you know, like happiness and fun. And, you know, it was the nice place to be.
Good times.
And then she turns into Sasuke Uchiha.
Then the bad thing happens. And yeah, like she kind of Sasuke is her voice, but it's like so impressive. You know, how like there was a point where I was thinking, is that the same voice actress? Like it's really crazy how much she sells the whole like Velvet is pissed at everything in the world. And
that's what they should have just named this game. Velvet is pissed.
Yeah. Tales of Berseria, Velvet's pissed. No, it's really great. And there are in the combat, like she gets this claw, like this demon claw later, and she can attack enemies. Yeah, she can attack enemies and absorb their essence, and then unleash a special ability based on that essence. And some of just like the screams she makes when she unleashes those attacks, they're so like visceral. They kind of make me uncomfortable. Like I couldn't even imagine like being the dude on the receiving end of those things because she's just so mad, you know.
Is she Neo from Devil May Cry 4?
Kind of, maybe. Yeah, but you can also play this game on PS4 and I believe Xbox One as well. I think it came out on the current gen consoles. Probably basic retail price. I know I got it on sale on Steam for like 25-ish.
Nice. It's 50 normally on Steam. I'm looking at the page right now, and yeah, and the recent and the overall reviews are overwhelmingly positive, which with roughly about 3,000 total reviews. So that's saying something. I mean, it came out this year. So do you think you'll finish it before the end of the year?
I do want to finish it. Yeah. I have no idea how long it is, and I haven't like looked up like averages of, you know, it's going to take 60 hours to beat or it's going to take 80 hours or whatever.
Yeah. For me, this is the problem with RPGs. Like, if you tell me, like, oh, this is a 100-hour game, I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll never get to see the end of this ever in my life.
That's kind of what's deterring me from, like, Persona and things like that. I love Persona, like, so far of what I've played of 4 and 5, but it's, like, the fact that I'm undertaking such a daunting game, like, it's just... It's a lot for me compared.
Maybe I'm
games.
in the short the minority here, but I would pay $60 for a game that was just very tight and very good, you know, all the way through without any filler.
Me too.
And I'm not saying Persona has any filler. I don't know yet, but you know what I mean. Like a 10, 12 hours. You tell me that, like, but it's like all rock solid good stuff. Like I'm totally down for that.
So like an Uncharted 4 experience.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing, because like I know I'm coming to like a resolution like in some foreseeable future in a game like Uncharted, and like and it's not that I don't like longer games, but it depends. Like what's a good example? Like I know I talk about Yakuza endlessly, but the thing about Yakuza is like you can go do and progress the story pretty much whenever you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you can just fire through the story at like 20 hours, like real quick, like whenever. But like there's so much other stuff to do that makes you want to come back and play through the rest of the game, like all the story, like the side missions and like all the bullshit little mini games you can do and all those things that you can come back to it and spend easily upwards of an 80 extra hours in the game.
Yeah, like that's how I played Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I just completely critical pathed it. It still was like 20 hours or so. But you know what? Whenever I want to go back and get back in that world, I have all those side quests. I have all that hidden stuff to find, you know, if I ever have the time. But I want to experience the story because I thought the characters were that strong.
Right. Whereas like I love Kingdom Hearts too, though, right? But like Dream Drop Distance, playing through that, it's kind of a slog, man, because you're progressing through it, but you're only getting like tidbits of story like peppered throughout the game until like the very end. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. It's not like you can just watch a cutscene whenever you want or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kingdom Hearts sucks. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't suck, but
I'm just kidding. Sort of, maybe. I don't know.
So, did you see the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers?
Yeah,
Good
Kingdom Hearts
luck
3
playing
looks
that
diggity
game.
dope.
When are you ever going to get it? It's never
I mean,
coming out.
I know I won't play it until I'm dead.
It's essentially
in the afterlife.
vaporware.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's still nice to imagine I can.
Right.
The thought's nice.
When we actually have it in our hands sometime next year, hopefully.
The
It's gonna be crazy.
idea of Kingdom Hearts is good. I think there's stuff there, but the execution of the story, what story, and just the weird naming conventions, I just think they completely. And then taking how many years, guys? Do the math. 12 years,
At
13
least.
years to come out with part 3. Like, I don't know. I just think it's very, very sloppily handled. This is what happens when you hand crazy people the keys and just give them infinite budget and just say whenever. Don't even say go. You just say,
was that a pun?
whenever you want to.
Yeah, when you hand them the key blades.
The key blades.
You could say.
Indeed. Yeah. No, it's a mess. It's a mess of a franchise. It's very incoherent.
I won't fault you on thinking the lore is like kind of incoherent, and it is really hard to follow if you don't play all the spin-off games. Like, it's impossible to follow the story if you don't play the spin-off games.
Even if you play the spin-off games,
It's still pretty incoherent.
Impossible
Yeah.
to understand.
It is.
Like I said, the idea of Disney and Squaresoft like is a good idea, but it's just I can't sit here and recommend that series to anybody. I can't.
I mean,
I
I
can.
will. I'll recommend it to people, but I'm gonna give them like just a fair warning though. Like, yeah, it's cool in concept, but sometimes it's not executed in the best way. Like, it's hard to follow sometimes, and sometimes I'll get people to be like, it's a whatever. I'll still play through them. Other people are like, yeah.
Did either of you two beat Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah.
No, I didn't beat it.
Okay, come on, Colin. There's some great there are many reasons to play that game. It's just so cool.
Oh,
to play.
no. I'm not gonna knock it, dude. I love Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, I mean,
Really?
granted,
Like,
it has that shitty hey, for the first 3 hours, do you want to play a really boring character that doesn't do anything? Isn't that fun? Isn't that what you asked for? Yeah, that's pretty bad. But other than that, Kingdom Hearts 2 is pretty good. After you get Sora and his long pants with too many zippers, it's so good.
Like all the characters in that game look like they were thrown into a Hot Topic from 10 years ago and shooken up and spit out. But
Sora's in that game?
I've heard rumors say.
Guys, I mean, I'm still thinking that like you're just gonna play as Sora for the first 4 hours in Kingdom Hearts 3, and then it's gonna turn into Final Fantasy VII Remake. But
Hey, Colin and Robert,
What?
your ass is going to get Sora waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out.
my God, why? So anyway,
I'm so
tangents
sorry.
tangents on Kingdom
Turn this
Hearts
microphone off.
aside. Tangents on Kingdom Hearts aside, what bothers me the most about JRPGs in general is a lot of them do this thing, right, where they more so I think action focused JRPGs, but they do this thing, right, where the combat in the game starts off pretty clunky. Like, it starts off as like purposefully clunky, and it doesn't actually smoothen out until like halfway through the game. Like, Kingdom Hearts is a really good example for that. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 especially.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you're just okay, let's tap the X button 3 times. We're gonna do like these really oddly spaced out, very awkward, clunky feeling attacks, and then but like by the end of like say Kingdom Hearts 2, you're like fucking flying ninja wizard, like going everywhere.
Yeah, no, by the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, you get a form that makes you a literal Jedi master, where your 2 keyblades are hovering. You don't touch them. You just kind of force them onto other beings.
So you're essentially a Gundam at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you turn into you pretty much a god by the end of Kingdom Hearts 2.
You go Super Saiyan. Okay.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, even when I was playing through Tales of Xillia, whatever, I've heard it pronounced both ways. Like, the beginning of that game, like, yeah, it kind of started to grip me at the beginning because of the interesting characters and stuff. But like, the battle system doesn't start to get really good until about halfway through. Because you start building up all the combos and you get high enough level where you can start doing all the I forget what they're called, like combo arts and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, but like by the end of the game, it's like, oh my god, this is insane because you can break out these huge combos and just destroy everything on the screen. And I guess that's kind of like the incentive to work towards that, right? To play through the game. And it's just a natural progression. But it just gets kind of annoying the way it's when it's done up like something like the original Kingdom Hearts, where it's just clunky as hell, and it's like it kind of can turn you off from playing it.
You know, Colin. Go ahead.
Oh, if it makes you feel any better, Tales of Berseria does a thing where your combos are all 4 stages, and you just choose which face button you want to hit, and then you assign each face button like a skill. So like, basically you're looking at a 4x4 grid, where like one axis is like what part of the combo you're in, and the other axis is what face button you want to press. You know, so you can assign. So you can assign like 16 different attacks on 16 different like face buttons of when you're pressing them. Like, I know it kind of sounds a little bit complicated, but like once you get into the game, it's kind of like, oh, that makes sense.
So it's like kind of like build your own combos, like do combos your own way kind of thing is what it sounds like.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, at the beginning, you kind of don't have that many arts, but then like 20 hours later, you know, I have almost enough unique arts to kind of like build the combos the way I want them.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
Colin,
it sounds really cool. What's up?
I know you are playing another JRPG as well, and we're kind of talking about like battle systems as well. What's the combat like in I Am Setsuna?
So I have been playing I Am Setsuna this week. I've been playing it on the Nintendo Switch version, which actually plays very nicely because I've heard that the other portable version, which was the Vita version, was actually had some frame rate issues, but that is non-existent on the Switch version, I'm happy to tell you. But yeah, so I Am Setsuna it plays a lot like Chrono Trigger gameplay wise, straight up. Like no humility whatsoever. Like it still calls them techs. Like,
oh wow, they go even that deep.
Yeah, so like But the difference is they do change it up a little bit though. So like the difference is they limit the amount of techs you can actually have assigned to a character before battle. So it's not like in Chrono Trigger where you have like the long list, like long Big Daddy list of techs that you can choose from with all the different combinations with all the different characters in your party. Like it's not like that. You have, if I recall correctly, you have like you can do like a command tech and then like a support tech, and then you can do and then you have a third slot for either a support or command tech that you can have. So you can basically have 3 at once. Per character. So you basically got to build up your you can have 3 characters in battle at once. You basically got to build your characters right according to the battle that you're going into. You got to strategize. And the other difference is you can do like weapon tempering, which allows you to upgrade your weapons. And you can actually get brand new weapons, and you can also do talismans, which give you like some sort of stat boosts or fluxes as they call them.
Hey, who developed the game?
Tokyo RPG Factory.
What have they made in the past? I'm not familiar.
I used to know some other stuff by them.
This isn't their first game, though.
Yeah, it's not their first game. Can someone do a Google on that for me? Thank you. Anyway, yeah, they've made quite a few other, obviously by their name, RPGs. But really? But the gameplay is kind of where the similarities between it and Chrono Trigger kind of stop. In terms, it's a completely different art style. Like it's not like pixel art or anything like that. Aside from like the little avatars they use in the menu screen, it's like it's like 3D chibi type characters, and then but the environments are like hand painted, and it's really really nice to look at. It's really pretty. It's
like polygonal characters on a hand painted background.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Like only some of the environments are like completely hand painted. Some of the environments are clearly polygonal, like the trees and things like that. But it's just very very nice to look at. It's aesthetically pleasing. And like it's got a nice piano driven score to it. It actually almost put me to sleep a couple times when I was playing it. It's just like it's so calming. It's so nice to listen to. I would put it on.
Is the soundtrack something I was gonna say? Is something you just listen to?
Oh yeah, like I could easily just like chill out, have like a cup of tea, put on the I Am Setsuna soundtrack, and just be relaxed.
Cool.
Very nice. Just thought I'd jump in here for a second.
Oh, yeah,
this is actually
sure.
their very first game.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I had a feeling.
Are they making anything else?
Yes, they're developing Lost Sphere right now, although Sphere is spelled differently. Yeah, that's kind of it.
And the game came out last year, right? But it was available at launch, or at least close to launch on Switch, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, close to it. Yeah, I actually I didn't want to download a copy, so I actually imported the Play Asia Japanese version. But when you throw the cartridge in your Switch, it automatically translates it to English.
I remember them saying that at the Switch kind of launch party, right? Like every game will work on every system.
Yeah,
no
the region-free
lock.
thing.
They tend to do that with their portables in the past. So it's not really anything new, but since this is like a hybrid portable / console, I guess it seems kind of novel. But if you remember,
I thought like DSs and 3DSs were all region locked.
I thought they weren't, but we'll look at that anyways.
Anyway, but yeah, so like the game, like overall, it's a fun game. Like I said, it plays a lot like Chrono Trigger. Like it's turn based. They throw a lot of different, like the enemies are very kind of like cutesy, at least at first. Like you're fighting penguins and like seals and stuff. Well, yeah, it's all really cute. But I think the most notable thing about the whole game definitely is like the story so far. The story so far is dark and it's kind of depressing. Like it's one of those things where it's just generally there's just an overtone of sadness throughout the game.
That's not like Chrono Trigger.
No.
Like how many hours in are you?
Like 4 or 5.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like just a genuine like ear of sadness. Of course, there's like some lighthearted moments to like completely line up because it's not so sad that it's like wow. Like it's not to the levels of like Hellblade, like you guys were talking about. But it's definitely like just I don't know if I want to spoil too much.
No, don't, because I plan on playing this.
Yeah, but
I think it'd be a good game to have like on a portable like Switch, for instance. So I think it would fit there really well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, it is. It is a perfect game on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that high $40 asking price.
Damn. What?
Yeah, for digital.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I got a physical copy because the physical copy was the same price.
Is it $40 on Steam right now?
I'm not 100% on that.
I'm gonna search. I thought it was a $30 game.
No, and I know right now if you want to get a physical version, you're looking upwards of $50 just because rarity.
Yeah, it was a pretty low print game. I was actually pretty lucky to get one. I got no, actually I didn't get Play Asia. I'm sorry. It was Amazon.jp.
And it is $40 on Steam, and the collector's edition is $50. I think the collector's edition comes with soundtrack or something like that.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, the soundtrack that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I paid 40, 45 after shipping, and I think it's totally worth it, man.
It's a Square Enix RPG, right? But when a game looks like this, I think sadly the expectation is that it'll be cheaper though. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just saying, that's why that price tag kind of hurts a little bit because the aesthetic of the game. Wouldn't you guys say so?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, it definitely looks like an indie title. I'll give you that, but it's like, I don't know. It's shooting a little bit higher than that, I feel like.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough.
But yeah, good characters, good story, pretty cool art style, good music. Pretty good.
I'm looking forward to playing at some point.
It's shorter too, right, for a JRPG?
Yeah, it's like 15 to 20 hours, I want to say.
Okay.
Overall, the reviews are mostly positive. Recently, though, they're mixed. There's 12 of those recent reviews, so I don't know. I'm looking at some of the screenshots now, and even like the attacks in Chrono Trigger, like the cross attack and all that, they look straight out of Chrono Trigger. So, and the overworld and everything like that.
I mean, isn't it explicitly said in the marketing that it's like inspired by?
The first line is inspired by the timeless classic Chrono Trigger.
There you go.
Yeah. Dear Kasha.
Yeah. Let's get into the next section of our little podcast, though. Let's talk about some news, because we have a lot of news. It's been a hot news week. Yeah, it has. Gamescom we're in the middle of it right now, I think, but still a lot of news came out of it. But I first just wanted to throw a statistic at you guys that I think we'd all just kind of enjoy to talk about or just enjoy hearing and knowing.
Okay.
So how many of you two, that's a bad way to phrase it, are familiar with the game Brink?
Oh, I remember it. I was actually excited for it when I first heard about it. I was like, hey, look, free running and shooting in first-person shooter. It's cool.
The trailers sold it, man. That I was hyped for that game. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like, yes, this looks incredible. The graphics looked really good. So, funny fact about Brink for me, it's the one and only game that I bought full price at GameStop or did I buy it at Kmart at the time? Can't remember. I think I actually got it at Kmart because I had like a $20 gift certificate or something. Anyways, so I buy it, I take it home, I play it, and I decide within the first half hour that this is one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. And
my God.
The very next day, I took it to GameStop. The very next day. So I had for about 24 hours.
Break it down for me. So I've never actually played it. So what was so bad about it?
Brink it down for you? I'll brink it down.
We don't need to get too much into this.
Don't go crazy, but just...
The feel. The feel was all wrong. It felt like it was an alpha still. It felt like it needed way more time in the oven.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Wow. I played it too. I actually played it to completion.
Ooh.
And it doesn't get better. It really doesn't.
It was horrible. It was horrendous.
Yeah, but so you remember it though, both of you, how it was like this new shooter that promised such great things and didn't deliver that much.
Much like another shooter that recently came out.
Yes, much like Lawbreakers. Now, here's a fun little fact for you. Recently, for some reason, Brink went free to play on Steam.
I would be down for that if it's free. I didn't even know it was on Steam.
It's free to play on Steam after it was released, what, like 4+ years ago?
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah, it was 2011.
11? Yeah, it's like 6 years ago.
It was like PS3 360 generation.
It was 2010, 2011, right around there.
Yeah, so... I love this. I love this so
I can't even believe that you're going to go with this. Why are you bringing Okay.
So here we go. I'm looking at Steam charts right now, right? And what Steam charts does is it tracks like concurrent players hourly, daily, etc. So do you guys want to take bets on which of the two games have more players?
I think I know what you're going to say already.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the 24-hour peak as of right now for Lawbreakers, 758 people.
758?
Oh my God.
That's like less
20
people
days.
in a middle school.
Yeah, this is 3 weeks after release of a brand new game that's been like kind of hyped up leading into it. Had 2 betas, had tons of support. Has the name Clifford Blazinski on it. Switch over to Brink. 24-hour peak, 2,600 people.
Damn.
Which is also its all-time peak. So apparently it wasn't all that popular on Steam to begin with.
No.
But the fact that the 24-hour peak of Brink, a game that's like 6-7 years old that just went free to play, is more than triple actually of Lawbreakers 24-hour peak.
Unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Dude, Lawbreakers is not going to bounce back. There's no bouncing back from this. There's no re-getting people.
Yeah, it sounded like Battleborn 2.
I kind of thought that like a lot of, but even so much worse than Battleborn. But I kind of thought that there was going to be a contingent of really super diehard fans that were going to latch on and just really like dive so deep into the game that like you were just the most elite player ever of FPSs, and like you had to have this like elevated consciousness to fully enjoy the game or whatever.
Elevated consciousness.
And it's like, it's not happening. There's going to be this game is going to be free to play probably in less than 6 months, like you said earlier, Robert.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but then again, Brink came back from having like 20 concurrent players a day to now having like literally 1,000 or like 100 times that.
Well, I'm considering having to go now that it's free to play. I mean, I'm considering revisiting it. I'm sure there's some patches. The reviews are all mixed for it right now. But I mean, is it fair though? Is it fair to compare the two? One's free, one's $30.
True, but this is a game that's been dead for 6. It was dead on arrival and remained dead for 7 years.
Yeah.
And because it was announced to be free to play, it's beating out a game.
I wonder what they're doing in the game. Are they selling hats? What are they? There's got to be some kind of like monetization model.
I honestly kind of think they might not. Maybe I can't say for sure, but I know the developer of Brink. They have this one shooter on Steam that's free to play right now called Dirty Bomb, but they're monetizing it like there's basically heroes, and you can like buy loot crates to like roll whether you get a hero and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they've got one free-to-play game they're monetizing. They could be maybe applying something similar to Brink, or maybe they just decided to put it on free-to-play if Dirty Bomb's making them so many cash monies.
I'll say one thing about Brink right now, just looking at the screenshots, the character models have not aged well at all. Mm-mm. They all look stupid. They all kind of look like the puppets in Phil Collins' The Land of Confusion. It's not a good look. It's not a recommended art style. So if you can get past that, but now it's free to play. I am considering just at least giving it a go. That's more than I can say for Lawbreakers.
The power of free to play.
Yes. Speaking of free to play, this morning I can't remember the name of the developer. Maybe you can help me out, Robert. But Shadow Warrior.
Oh yeah,
it was free for 24 hours.
Flying Hog Studios, I believe.
Yeah, they
something Hog.
That game is pretty solid, and it's free, and it's normally like $20-$30 or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'll get that.
The Shadow Warrior, not the original one from the 90s, but like the original new one.
The original new one, yeah.
Yeah, you can get that on sale for like $4 if you wait on a good Steam sale.
Or free right now, which is what
True.
I did. Cool.
But I don't know if it'll still be free by the time this podcast goes up.
No, sorry about your luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip.
So what was it? Last night, 2 nights ago, Super Nintendo pre-orders went live.
Yes.
Out of fucking nowhere.
And then immediately stopped being live.
I have such a story about this, if you guys would care to hear.
No, I'm fine.
Please.
Did anyone get one? Either of you?
No.
I mean, I'm not in the market for one. I'm not going to buy one regardless.
Oh, it wasn't even like you weren't even deigning to have one.
No. Nope.
Okay. So I went the whole hog on this one. And I remember a couple weeks back, maybe a month or two, Robert, you're like, if you want one of these, we talked about it on the podcast, you're like, if someone's going to want one of these, they're going to have to work harder than they ever worked to get a video game before in the past. And I took that to heart, and I was like, he's right. Like, this is all the things Nintendo's going to say.
War.
Yeah, all the things Nintendo has said about, there's going to be all this extra stock. Don't worry, guys. We got your back. It's proven now, 48 hours removed, it was complete bullshit. It's completely, there's no way you can get one now if you haven't gotten it, in the short windows that existed. So what I did was I went to nowinstock.net or org or whatever it is. I can't remember the name of the website. Look it up. Anyways, it's a website that specializes in tracking these things that are hard to find, like the Switches, the Xbox One X's, the new AMD Radeon cards, etc. And of course, the SNES Classic. So what I did was, man, this is like involved, guys. I subscribed to the email alerts it tracks all the stores that'll have it, and when it kind of checks the website, and if that page is live and you're able to get it up, like you're able to put it in your cart, it sends an alert to the whole group that subscribes to this chain. Not only did I do that, but I set up my email to, if I get, and it was the whole long list of instructions. If I get an email that's saying, hey, motherfucker, SNES is up at this time at this place, it'll forward just that email in a text form to my phone.
Oh my God.
I know, dude, this tunnel goes deep, and it took a lot of setup. Honestly, it was probably 5-10 minutes, but it's a lot of, like technical, like cut and paste this code here, verify your phone here. Cause who knew that I didn't know this. Did you guys know you could like send an email and, to a certain address depending on your phone carrier, and it goes to, it comes to you as a text? I didn't even know that was possible. Wow. Right. So I had to learn about all that and stuff, and everyone has one apparently. But so anyways, long story short, days later, week or two later, after I do that, I'm laying in bed, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. And what was this, Monday, right? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I usually mute my phone at night because of, I don't want to be woken up, when I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And so I, for some reason, didn't remember to mute it. And I just hear this bring or whatever the sound is, that I got a text, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, I was angry. I was like, who is texting me right now? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I look.
It's Robert texting you news.
Yeah. Hey man, did you hear about Tales of Berseria? It's pretty good. but okay, so I get so angry, and so I look at it, I'm like, oh shit. It was actually the one text like, SNES Classic right now, bestbuy.com. You better hurry up. So I jump out of bed, I rub my eyes, I boot up the computer, which is all the way across the other side of the apartment. And I'm sitting there like very lazily, like clicking, like go, hurry up. Actually got one. But it was like very like Mission Impossible, like click like you've never clicked before. Because I knew that it was going to be gone within 30 minutes. They were completely sold out. And,
it was more like 5, dude.
And Walmart was like literally Walmart like sold out, like their page was live later in the day. They literally like sold out in like 60 seconds. And imagine like most of the people in the world like woke up the next day and found out like, oh shit, like why would they release this at 1 o'clock in the morning? You know, it's like almost you don't want anyone to know it happened. But throughout the day, periodically, all the other vendors were getting their pages up. But like you said, they were going like that, and the scalpers instantly, like that very same day, had SNES Classics on eBay for like $250-$300. Like, get real, man. So I have one. Or I will have one on launch day, but man, it took some doing, and it took some motivation of will to will it into my ownership. I guess I don't know if I'm even proud of this whole thing. I'm just so ashamed now after the whole thing's said and done.
See, I've heard some shit surrounding this actually. So like, you know how you can on Amazon set up a product and like what is not in stock, you can be like, oh, just can you email me when it's in stock?
Yeah, right? Notify, right?
Yeah. Apparently, what like the page they had up previously about like the SNES Classics, that was up, and you know you can go to that page and you can be like, hey, let me know when this is in stock. Then when they posted on their website, they posted it as a whole new web page with a whole new product code. So the hundreds, possibly thousands people that had it like notify me when it's live didn't even get the notification.
This is Amazon.
Yeah, this is Amazon. Yeah. So that really sucks. I don't know. It's just like I'm convinced Nintendo doesn't want to make money. Like, I'm just convinced.
They're just the most risk averse, you know, in the most Japanese kind of way company I've ever seen.
If you look at them, it's like the Switch is saving them for sure, but it's not like you can recover from, you know, 6 years that the Wii U was their main console. You can't just recover from 6 years of basically not making any money with just like 6 months of the Switch.
Right.
When it's still like kind of in the process of being rolled out to all the people who really want one, you know what I mean?
Right.
And when you have here an SNES Classic, something that literally is printing money, and I doubt it's hard to make. Like, what do? Let's like 3D print an SNES, throw Raspberry fucking Pi in there, and load it up with these old ROMs that we have. Because let's be honest, we probably own the ROMs, and we don't let anyone else own them.
You know what they probably do? They probably just like open up all their old copies of Super Mario World and just use that chipboard.
Yeah,
and wrap it in the SNES shell. They could run it all on that.
Yeah, it's just so stupid to me how it's like, what's the point of this? What is the point of this manufactured scarcity? There's literally no reason.
No, there's not. And honestly, if they were smart, what they would do is they would take pre-orders and they would just make to order.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they don't just do that. Just take, like, they would get hundreds of thousands, millions of pre-orders on this console. Be like, okay, so like we have 10 million, 15 million pre-orders on this damn stupid little thing that costs us next to nothing to manufacture. So let's manufacture for every single one of these people, and they're going to make money in all of that. I don't know if they're doing it because of time, like just taking up time in production. I don't understand the reasoning behind this at all. Like, other than the fact that like maybe they're just not thinking it through, and they're just like, okay, so let's make artificial scarcity for this product that's in very, very high demand, so we can make a quick buck and try to make our money back from, you know, the money we were losing from the Wii U era. That's the only like possible explanation that I can maybe think of, but I don't know.
You know, I was thinking, like, this is a publicly traded company. I would love to listen to some of those earnings calls, because I can't imagine some of their shareholders wouldn't say, what happened with the NES Classic? We still have, you know, tens upon tens of thousands of people that are trying to buy this, and they can't. I mean, I would hope someone would, you know, raise that concern, because it's just literally the definition of leaving money on the table. Yeah. Because if the NES Classic, if I was waiting, I was naive. I was waiting. I was like, oh, well, clearly, like, you know, the first run is going to go, and all the early adopters going to snag it up, and the scalpers and all that. But eventually, we're going to reach an equilibrium where I can just walk into a Target and it's just on the shelf, and that's when I'll get it. I was willing to wait. That time never came.
So, and another thing is too, it's like, why don't they take measures to stop scalpers from getting these fucking things?
What can you do? You can't change. You can't do anything.
Bands have been fighting it with Ticketmaster for a long time now.
Eddie Vedder is not working for Nintendo.
Well, but
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yet,
yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, who
Yeah.
knows?
But like
Jeremy has spoken.
yeah, God, stop, please. I can't handle all the puns. Oh my God. Yeah, maybe you're just a woman behind a desk in a bar in a little town, or whatever the hell the name of that song is. Anyway,
reach behind that little bar lady and get that NES Classic out for me.
Yeah. Anyway, so like what the example that pops into my head is 21 Pilots did something like that when their tickets went on sale, because they did the Tour de Columbus or whatever, and all those tickets were selling out like a motherfucker.
Right. Of course.
Because they were playing at like some of the smallest venues here.
Did they play on a porch?
They played like
That
the
was
basement.
another Pearl Jam pun. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
Isn't it kind of funny though how that kind of almost sounds like a real question you could ask about 21 Pilots?
Yeah. And they played at the basement. The basement's a venue.
Yeah, and Colin just believes it. Like, yeah,
I would just rolling with it.
might be.
Anyway, yeah, they played the barbecue too. So they did like some sort of code that you have to put in to even get access to like the ticket sales or whatever. Some sort of code system that they use. It was really smart to prevent scalpers from getting a hold of their tickets. And then they released them like they released the codes at like different increments of time. And they only put out like a handful of tickets out. I don't know. The way they did it is like way smart. I don't understand why they don't do it for something like this, to make sure that all the consumers are getting one in their hands, because at this point they're just helping the scalpers out. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's like more so the website's fault or Nintendo's fault. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. It's to me, it sounds like a pretty basic misunderstanding of supply and demand.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's a toy company first, and they're an actual business later. Like, you know what I mean? They focus on making the products, and they don't really worry about the sales part as much. That's what it seems like.
I mean, how's that saying go? That saying go? Like, what is it? Like, 1 time's an accident, twice is a pattern, and 3 times is like what, a conspiracy?
Huge fuck up.
Yeah, like a conspiracy or something like that. This happened with certain amiibos. This happened with the NES Classic. It's happening right now. It happened with the Wii. It happens with the Switch. Like, this is just Nintendo now. This is part of their brand, unfortunately.
Yeah.
This is where we are today. And here's the thing. GameStop recently came out and they're like, oh, guys, don't worry. We're going to have more. You can't pre-order anymore, but on launch day, we'll have some at each location. So good luck lining up 5 o'clock, in the morning that day or whatever.
Right.
And
well, did you see that? Is it Toys R Us? I think it's Toys R Us. That's literally, they're not allowing pre-orders. You can only go and get them on launch day.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like they're just gonna have like a specific amount sent out to each store, and they're only doing that. You can only get them in the door.
When you do that, it's like who wants it the hardest, like who's willing to wait the longest for this.
Yeah, we're gonna wait a month outside this Toys R Us.
What I love, man, is the audacity of ThinkGeek and GameStop. Did you see this? They didn't waste 1 second putting out overpriced bundles.
Yep, I saw that.
Those already came and they went like fast, and people are spending like $150, $160 on, some Zelda chessboard or something. Like, don't get me wrong, this stuff sounds cool, but I just hate like being forced, the idea of being forced to buy the stuff, just to get the NES Classic.
How else will they free up that warehouse space though, Jack?
You know what? It's like, what's next? Like, are people going to like just use this as a tool to sell things that they need to sell? Like, are we just going to see Craigslist like $2,000 cars for sale, but you get an SNES Classic like in the back seat? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what else can you like tie this stuff to?
Yeah, the best meme I saw today was like, hey, look, a new SNES bundle, and it was like or SNES Classic bundle. It was an SNES Classic with like a riding lawnmower and a package of ground chuck.
Oh god.
Yeah, $4,000.
It was over like
I'm actually really excited. I'm glad I did that. It was worth the time and effort. It did
for something
like
that's going to sit on your shelf and look cool.
I'm going to play. I mean, it have new features that a lot of people didn't really know about. It has that rewind, has that kind of save state mode, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And to me, like, honestly, it's all about, because let's face it, I can play all those games whenever I want to right this very second. But it's cool having the thing what has Star Fox 2 on it, I think. And I think they really worked on this but they worked on this code. They actually like revisited it and optimized it. And so it's going to be a lot different than the ROMs that are floating out there right now. You know, it's going to be actually a finished product. And I'm actually considering doing a video review of Star Fox 2 because, I mean, it's a new SNES release for 2017. It's eligible for Game of the Year, guys. Eligible. Telling you right now.
Eligible.
It's eligible. It's an actual release. So I actually am thinking about doing a video review. We'll see.
Well, let's talk about something completely different. Let's talk about something that's actually successful. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, 8 million sales.
We were just talking not that long ago about it hitting 4 million.
Yeah, and then less than 4 weeks later, 8 million sales.
What is going on? This thing is like Rocket League levels, you know, of success so far, and it's not even out yet.
It's not out yet, but hey, good on them. Like PlayerUnknown, Mr. Brendan himself, he is swimming in the money right now.
Dude, he's just looking at it. It's like...
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this isn't a $60 release, right? It's like a, $30, $40 release?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's still like, that's 8 million sales. That's very impressive. And it's to the point where like Microsoft is kind of, they're having it in their early access or whatever they call it for the Xbox, right? Like that's going to come out soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see like just how many more people will buy it once it's out on like a single console,
it's scary,
let alone if and or when it comes out on the PS4.
It is going to be the launch game to get for Xbox One X. That's going to be it.
And it's Xbox Play Anywhere, so you can also play it on your PC after that.
I'm playing the Xbox Play Anywhere version of PUBG on my PC.
Is that real?
I don't know. I hope not, because that'd be stupid.
Probably not. I love that they updated it recently, and they are doing pretty well at keeping it updated. I love that they added the ability to honk your horn in your car. I've seen
it's
these,
my favorite thing.
Yeah, really good videos of people just trolling streamers, like just going around and just honking constantly. It's so loud and obnoxious. It's really added a lot of entertainment and some new life into that game. I need to get back into that game, man. I've been lagging. I've been lacking for sure. I finish pretty consistently in the top 25 or so, which I think is pretty good.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, it'll happen one day. That chicken dinner shall be mine eventually. Do you remember the time, Robert, earlier this year where I had to like sell you on a free copy of this game?
Yeah,
I had to sell you, and you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna play it. And now you're into it even more than me now.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember I actually played. I mean, I haven't been playing it much recently either, actually. But I remember I played it after the Horn update, so probably like last week or so.
Okay.
And I just realized I defined that entire update by the Horn.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I was playing it with 3 of my other friends, and we got into a Jeep, and I will never forget this moment because I'm normally not like hyper aggressive in that game. You know, I like to turtle a lot more in that game if I can help it. But I remember we were driving, and then some people in like a sedan passed us, the Dacia, whatever you want to call it. Some of them passed us, and I was like, "Oh no, it's time to go!" And then horns blaring, chasing after them, nos on, like Mad Max level shit going on. It felt really good.
What's the button for the horn?
Fire, like the left mouse click. It's the same button you used to shoot.
Oh my god.
That's why it's so easy.
Yeah, they make it so easy.
Left click. Wow. That's so
good. So I watched it was a highlight reel of PUBG. It was just all nothing but like people just talking shit on campers and people just rage quitting. It was just a 5-minute long video of people just screaming.
Listen, I don't care who gets triggered with this. You're not allowed to get mad at camping in that game. That's the game.
Dude, people get so genuinely angry. It's hilarious. It's like this guy was like walking into a house or whatever, and this guy's like of course just chilling in the corner. The guy walks in, he just shoots him right in the face. And the guy's like, "Oh, what the fuck you doing? What the fuck you doing, you pussy ass little fucking camper piece of shit pussy."
Wow.
Like just fucking like throwing shade, dude. Like,
that's some kind of shade, man.
Yeah, that's some really angry shade.
I think we're gonna have to double our explicit tag on this now. 2
tags.
We're
explicitly explicit. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of get the anger of camping because like back when I played Call of Duty and stuff, like in high school or whatever, like camping made me pissed, but like Call of Duty is such a different game. And
incredibly like I can see it for that, but this game is based on stealth and exploration and hiding. You know, I don't know anyone that has just gone in and like just killed 95 people, you know, and like Rambo their whole way to it. Like to me, that's recipe for losing.
Exactly.
You know?
So
yeah.
I'm glad to see that it's already so successful. Kind of makes me wonder how things are going to be when it actually launches. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that one.
Even more cursing and N-words thrown around, probably.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful community of people there. It's a great collection.
Just turn off your mic and it doesn't matter. So HTC Vive, that one VR machine that I hear is probably like the most enhanced one, having a permanent price drop. It's gone down to $600, $599.
Very exciting.
Man, so cheap.
Do you have words?
To me, it's just like, okay, well, you know what that means? Like, that means don't buy it now. That means wait till friggin' Black Friday. You know, and who knows? It'll probably go down another $100 there if you're waiting on that. I mean, obviously, it is the most complete out of the box VR solution. This is a response to Oculus Rift going to $400, right? But this is still considered the superior VR headset. So I'm just looking forward to Black Friday really with this and to see how low it goes. I might pull the trigger. We'll see. I don't know. We'll have to see where funds are at that time. But I just think it's telling that, hey, it didn't take very long at all for VR to start getting a lot cheaper. I wouldn't say it's super affordable yet, but you know, it's definitely getting there. And PC is already there. PC, you can have a VR ready PC now instead of like $1,500. You can do one for $500 now, easy.
I was actually I can't believe I didn't tell you guys. I don't think I told you guys, but Amazon was holding a deal on PSVRs a few weeks back.
Oh yeah,
and you could get, it was like for after this promo code and the sale that they had going on, you could get a PSVR with 2 games and a PlayStation camera thrown in for $300.
Wow! Any
It's
2
not
games
bad.
or 2 specific games?
It was the VR Worlds demo.
Okay,
And the
that comes with it for free anyways.
what was it? Until Dawn, Rush of Blood.
Okay, it's not a great game. So, and you would still need to buy the Move controllers, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but that if you get those used at a retro game store, you get them for like $40 a pair.
Yeah. Okay,
but still
Hey.
like $340 though for 2 games and a free camera. The camera alone's like $60-$70.
Yeah, they met demand with that. You know, take some notes, Nintendo. Like it was rare. You know, for a while it was hard to find, but they met demand, and now they're able to have the inventory to do these kind of discounts. Again, Black Friday, that's gonna look very attractive. Still, as someone who's tried all 3 of those headsets, PSVR still is the most comfortable of all of them, easily, and very light and very glasses friendly too, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, I think like I'm probably not going to pull the trigger on this Vive no matter what, but I do think we're kind of starting to get into that era where the software is catching up and there's like a reason to buy VR instead of just like to have VR. You know, because now there are like games that are coming out. I think Doom VFR is coming out like, within the next year.
Fallout. All those dates got announced actually.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, all those
Doom
Bethesda.
and Skyrim.
Wait, say that again.
Fallout, Doom, and Skyrim.
Yeah, I don't have the dates in front of me, but I know that Bethesda did release them recently. So those are all hardlined for release, and that's exciting. That is exciting. I think really, I think that it is going to be time to actually recommend VR when these 2nd gen headsets come out, when the next Oculus Rift comes out, when the next Rift comes out, and when hardware is affordable enough, like you were saying. I think that's going to be the time. That's going to be when it gets hot.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully, I really hope so.
So next on the docket, this is kind of sad, but also I think we all saw it coming.
So hilarious.
Wait, did you think I was going to say something else?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Mass Effect Andromeda. It is 5 months old, and it's dead.
Somebody order a Ripperoni pizza.
Yep. BioWare and EA have officially announced that the patch they either just dropped or will soon drop is the very last patch they will give to Mass Effect Andromeda. There's going to be no single player DLC, which I hear is a shame because of people who beat the game. They're saying that there are a lot of storyline plot holes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which EA is saying, we're going to continue the story through like the comic books and like novels and stuff.
Okay. So they're in other words, they're just going to put this. They're just going to put this one 6 feet under and be done with it.
Are people? Yeah, they're trying to distance themselves really far from this game. Now, are people actually like playing the multiplayer? Robert, can you confirm?
I have no clue.
Okay.
And I don't really know a good way to check it. I don't really know a way to check Origin stats.
Oh,
So-
man.
Or
Another funny fact too was I think I was telling Robert this the other night when we were going out, but I saw a picture. Somebody posted in one of the gaming Facebook groups I'm on. Somebody posted a picture. It was just a whole long box full of PS4 and Xbox One copies of Andromeda put into a Goodwill.
Oh, is that a real photo or is that a troll? Like,
It was
that a Photoshop?
it was completely real.
Dude.
Yeah, it was just a long box of copies of Andromeda in a Goodwill.
Dude, this is going to be the next video game that's like buried out in a desert next to old Atari copies of E.T. They're going to dig
Kind
these
of.
up in 20 years now.
Yeah, and they're gonna be like, guys, the game wasn't that bad. Okay, it's bad.
It's so bad.
because I mean, the thing is, like, I think this is definitive proof that we probably shouldn't expect a Mass Effect Andromeda 2 or even any new Mass Effect game for years.
Yeah, I mean, even that one was the
I would
first
say
time, yeah.
almost never. I mean, you know what I would like to see and would probably make sense and probably will happen now that I'm just thinking about this off the top of my head, but maybe a Telltale game.
Telltale Mass Effect?
Yeah, I could see that being a thing, and the budget would be probably doable for that, you know. And I could see that totally
it.
being a thing.
I
Yeah.
can see it.
But
So
as
there-
far as
the-
like as far as an actual like Mass Effect Andromeda 2 or like something else with like a Pathfinder in it or something, like what such a shameful way to end the series. I mean, Mass Effect 3 had its problems. It did remedy it eventually, and at the end with all the DLC, it did become a complete game in my opinion. It took some time, but man, it's just really sad because Mass Effect was one of my favorite franchises from last generation, and Mass Effect 2 is definitely my top 3, probably top 5, top 3 probably of favorite games of last gen.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think it's gonna be completely dead. I mean, at least not as long as we think it will be, because Mass Effect just has such a rabid fan base.
Not anymore.
I mean, yeah, it kind of
Not
kills
with
them
this
off. But
crap.
you still got quite a few people that are willing to defend Andromeda to their deathbeds.
No company is going
And-
to publish this anymore. This brand is toxic now.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but like, I mean, I just don't. At least I don't think it's going to take as long as we think. It's going to take a long time for if anyone comes back around to it. But I definitely think there's going to be something to come out of it, because
No.
people are going to be demanding it so much.
BioWare's on Anthem now. They've long forgotten about this. We'll see a new Jade Empire or Knights of the Old Republic before we see another Mass Effect. This is sad. I think Mass Effect is dead. And I hate sounding that pessimistic, but there's no way, I think, because think how expensive this game was, and the next game eventually will have to be. No one's going to secure the funds to finance that with the
enough.
way this game has underperformed. To say underperformed, like, this is one of the biggest disappointments in video games this year, easily.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
And it's a shame too, because Mass Effect I've always felt was one of those series where like you could show it to someone who's a non-gamer and who thinks just games are like lame and you just go about and kill people and whatever and it's stupid. But you can show them Mass Effect and be like, no, there are games out there that sure you go around and shoot people, but there's like a good story there with good lore. You know, like you can sit there for a bit and get interested into what
Yeah.
Mass Effect has to offer. Like it builds a universe on par with like Star Wars and, you know, like the Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. It's one of those games where people that are non-gamers can walk into a room and kind of get into and just sit there and just like enjoy it. You know, kind of just pop in anywhere, because it's really the closest to Star Trek, I think, that a series has gotten, besides being Star Trek. It's a shame, man. I don't know what to say,
man.
but to really just bury it, right? 6 feet under 5 this soon. They're like, you know what, guys? We just went through the numbers, and with as bad as this game's selling, it's not worth it to us to invest the money to fix everything that needs to be fixed in this game. This is what they're saying. You know, the sales just tanked that far. So, man, rest in peace, Mass Effect. I wish that this game was good enough for me to even try. Like, I have like Origin, right? I have what's it called, like EA Vault or whatever. The
EA
Origin.
Access.
EA Access. Thank you.
Access,
I have
yeah.
that, and so I can play this game for 10 hours for free without even buying it. But now I think it's in the vault, or it soon
Maybe.
will, or it soon will be. It soon will be, anyways. But even so, my point being is that the game's first 10 hours is free to me, and I still can't be bothered to even boot it up. It's even installed on my hard drive. I just haven't clicked play.
I don't know. I've given that game like 20 hours of my life, and I think It's something to do if you enjoy Dragon Age Inquisition, because all that game is just roam around in a big free world and like tick a bunch of checkboxes, and that's exactly the same thing Andromeda is, but with like good combat. So if you're looking for that itch, I think it's all right, but not for $60.
You know, I think I just remember this. We might be overlooking the fact that Casey Hudson is back in power at EA, and I can't imagine him not trying to redeem Mass Effect. So who knows what's going to happen?
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Next in our list of news here, we got Madden 18. They got a long shot mode now, which is like their new career mode or something, where you get to play as an NFL boy from college to NFL, if I remember right.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The summer doldrums are over. Madden has come out and seen his shadow. Video games are happening again, 2017. It's always that marker for me, that part of the year where, okay, video games are back. You know that as soon as Madden comes out, this is when all the video games are going to start coming out again, around September, October time, after that kind of summer break. So I'm excited about this. This will be the first time I'm planning on buying this game. I can't believe I'm saying that. This will be the first time in roughly 11 years that I will have bought a Madden game. I used to get them every single year. I used to be that guy. But with the Frostbite engine now, the game looking sharper than ever, and then with this story mode, this single player awesome idea, and from what I hear from reviews, it's executed very well. So I'm like, wow, there's a real reason now for me, a more casual NFL fan, to really get into this, because I would actually be playing college football games if they were a thing, but we know how that ended.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Like, I'll say I'm someone who doesn't care about sports games.
Period.
Like, at all. Period. Like, because I barely care about real sports in general.
What about Blitzball and Final Fantasy X?
I will cut you.
No, that's a terrible game. That's not even really a sports
so
game.
Awful.
Yeah, no, it's really bad.
God, it is bad.
No,
it's
but I will say, yeah, sorry, Colin.
No, you're good.
So I will say this long shot mode kind of is interesting because it kind of scratches that like telltale itch that I have, because that's kind of what it's starting to sound like.
Yes.
And this, along with the funny stuff that's happening with NBA 2K18, I'm kind of like, sports games are all right. I guess they're fun.
What's the funny stuff in NBA 2K?
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna say his name right. But Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
Kyrie
Irving.
You said it right. The new Celtic. The new Celtic. The new Celtic. He just got drafted away from the Cavs.
Oh man,
we're ESPN now, guys.
Yeah, the day he got drafted, NBA 2K18 was like revealing our cover athlete of the year, Kyrie Irving of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
With him, with the
rocking his new jersey.
Oh wait, does he have the Celtic jersey or the Cavs jersey?
No,
on?
it was
Cavs
him with
jersey.
the Cavs jersey. They were not expecting him to be drafted. They just released the cover art.
Well, I saw that cover a couple weeks ago in like a Best Buy. Yeah, in like a Best Buy like stand.
No, yeah, that's right. It was out like a while ago, and then they tweeted out like the day that the draft happened. Like, oops.
Okay.
They like quote
Yeah,
tweeted.
it just
They're
says,
like,
whoops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, think
was-
how much millions of dollars they already spent in manufacturing, right? Like printing out all those CD jackets. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I just thought
well,
really
what
funny.
can you do?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, man. Like this whole turn in sports games getting story modes. I think we talked about it a little bit before, but like I'm not really much for sports games in general, but what I am a sucker for is a good old American freaking sports movie. Like, I love me some Remember the Titans. I love me some like Gridiron Gang with The Rock, and he takes those juvie kids and he's like, yeah, we're gonna play football because we're the Mustangs.
Dude, Necessary Roughness. You ever seen that football movie?
No, but it sounds like I should.
What's his name? Not Scott Bakula, I think
That
is the
sounds
guy
like
from the guy from Quantum Leap. Is in it. Kathy Ireland was their place kicker.
Can you say the name of it again?
Necessary Roughness?
That sounds like a football porn video.
Oh my god, it does.
You're not as far off as you might think, but
Oh no.
Oh god. Is
no,
it
it was like a
is-
90s comedy, and almost all movies that were comedies back then also had nudity in them too. Consequently, I'm
Yeah,
actually not sure if that has any nudity in it. It's just so long ago, but that's just 80s movies were ridiculous.
Dude, honestly though, one of the it's not even technically, I guess, a football movie, but one of the grittiest ones was you ever seen All the Right Moves? Tom Cruise?
No.
It's an 80s movie. One of the first movies he's ever acted in. But it takes place in like Pittsburgh, whatever. It's like he plays football in high school, and it's about him like, you know, going through high school, and he gets like a scholarship and whatever else. Well, anyway, it's like the way these football scenes are like directed, right, is like just brutal. You can tell like a lot of these dudes actually did these stunts, and people are just getting the shit kicked out of them. They're like digging into the mud, and they're just covered from head to toe in mud. And like, there's some times where you think, dude, like bones had to have been broken. And
there's no CTE. Yeah, this is like back in the days of Jackie Chan. Like, people just go to the hospital after every take. Like, it's just a given.
Dude, it's fine. Yeah. Like, it's just it's an 80s as hell movie. Like, it's pretty cheesy. It's definitely worth watching though. If you know, I know you like 80s movies, Jack.
Yes.
So like, definitely check. It's even got the awesome 80s soundtrack to it. Like,
okay,
you got all the right moves, like things like that. Yeah, dude, it's so great.
I'm liking what I'm hearing. I'm liking what I'm hearing. Have you guys, speaking of sports movies, have you guys ever seen Any Given Sunday with Jamie Foxx in it and Al Pacino as a head coach?
Yes, very long time ago. But
Robert, let me just tell you this one scene real quick. It's a really brutal like injury, and this guy's like grabbing his face and all that, and then the announcers are like, oh wait, no. So the guy's like bloody and stuff. He's holding his face, and this is after a tackle. And then the camera literally zooms in to his eyeball on the football field. It's the most random, craziest crap. And then the announcer's like, it appears he has an injury to his eye. Just like so dry like that. Just like, they don't give a shit. It's so stupid and over the top, man. Al Pacino actually does have a really cool motivational speech scene in that movie, but it's so ridiculous.
Well, yeah, anyway, yes, I love sports movies, but anyway, to tie it back, the way that they're going with this long shot mode is just like, that's what it's hitting for me. It's like, it's a modern day football movie. Yeah, it's a modern day football movie, man. Like, it's exactly what it is, and it's got some drama in there, and they do it just like a Telltale game. Like, I watched like the first 20 minutes of it on IGN, and I was like, it actually hooked me. Like, I thought, what's that?
You spoiled it.
Did I?
I don't know. No, I'm saying for yourself.
For Colin's self, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I watched the first 20 minutes. There wasn't like a terribly huge amount of spoilers, and I just wanted to get an idea to see if it was actually worth playing. And it, like, so far, yeah, it hit me in like the same spots as like a Beyond Two Souls type of game or something like that.
That's
and
good to hear.
Definitely not like cheesy acting like Jason or anything like that, you know.
No, it looks like it's very heavily influenced by Friday Night Lights. I can see that kind of in what I've seen so far. But again, I'm trying to like not watch too much of it ever since I just determined like, okay, if this is like good, I'm just going to get this game. But how do you guys feel about this? This is more important to me as far as like video games overall. This game is on a very slippery slope with me because traditionally, I'll just ask you guys, what day of the week do video games come out?
Tuesdays.
Exactly. Pretty much everyone knows that. At least, you know, if you bought a couple games, you were like, oh shit, those were both Tuesdays. But this game, I don't know if this is the first one to do it, but it definitely will not be the last. If you want to play Madden, the actual game, the regular version of the game comes out this Friday. However, if you want to pony up $20 extra for the GOAT, the greatest of all time version with Tom Brady screaming on the cover instead of just standing there, they'll sell you that, and just give us a little extra $20 so you can play it Tuesday. So how do you guys feel about that? Because that is so disgusting to me.
That's stupid and anti-consumer.
3 days earlier, just pay us $20 more. Yeah, they'll give you all this other digital good stuff, but it's like we all know that the game comes out Tuesday. And you're telling me that the greatest of all time version is in stores Tuesday and the regular one isn't right behind it on the shelf? Bullshit.
Yeah, that's some shit that, like, not as bad obviously, but that's some shit like Call of Duty pulled. They had when they came out with like Advanced Warfare, they had like the Day Zero edition, which was like you could play the game a day early, or like if you pre-order, I think even the latest Call of Duty, if you pre-order the latest Call of Duty right now, if you pre-order Call of Duty World War II, you can get access to the beta if you have it pre-ordered.
Man.
And you can actually, and if you have it pre-ordered, I don't know if it's a certain edition or if it's a standard edition, but you get to play it a day early. Some way, shape, or form.
It's just gross. I really hate this new practice, and it's becoming regular, and I think people are becoming desensitized to this practice, but I actually considered, like, maybe I should get that greatest of all time version. Maybe I should spend the extra money so I can talk about this on the podcast, but I'm like, no. I'm not
That's
doing
stupid.
it. Yeah,
No,
it's
talk
dumb.
with it. Yeah, speak with
Yeah.
their wallet, man.
I think the only like sort of devil's advocate I can see is that usually sports games are like, no offense, but kind of geared toward the more casual gaming player base. Like the people who play like Dark Souls and like, you know, games like that, they don't play football games or anything. Like I know people who own a PS4 or an Xbox One, but then they're like, yeah, no, it's like my FIFA machine, it's my Madden machine, you know, like I don't
No, oh,
play
1,000,000%. Yeah.
Yeah. So like those are the kind of people where they wouldn't think like us, like $20 extra to play it 3 days early. That's stupid. They'd be like, oh sweet, I get to play it sooner, you know? Like
I know, and that is so.
it's annoying.
Yeah, and it's so true too.
Yeah.
I guarantee that there's somewhere in this apartment complex, someone owns a copy of Madden 18 right now, the GOAT edition.
That's why EA is doing
Yep.
this, is because it works, and that's what is the shittiest part about it, is it's working.
Let's talk about things that aren't working. Do we want to talk about the faces of Shenmue 3?
Come on.
I always
What
look
are you
for the good
doing?
segues.
Okay, I just saw that trailer before this podcast, and it looked weird. It did look weird. There's lighting, you know, effects in it that look a little off. The character models look. It's strange because what do you want? Okay, what do you want in Shenmue 3? The character models look kind of like they're straight out of the Dreamcast and Xbox version, just up-resed a little bit, but like they almost look too old. Right? They don't look modern enough. It's a weird thing. But my question to you is, so I'm assuming there's criticism on the look of the game, just based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
So
Because look at just as a quick example, look at we don't have to look any further back than last week with Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
Very faithful to the original.
honestly, me personally,
Both of you.
I don't give a shit if they still use the Dreamcast graphics, as long as it was a good game, you know, and it did what it needed to do.
Just up-resed and then 16 by
But
9.
knowing what I know, I don't know if you saw the interview that Yu Suzuki did, but me and Robert were talking about it a little bit before the podcast.
I haven't seen it, no.
So Yu Suzuki was saying in an interview at Gamescom that apparently before they made that trailer, they had actually completely taken out the facial animations from the game. Because they're fixing them, they're re-implementing them like brand new ones.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
Now I'm scared this is going to be a Mass Effect Andromeda all over again.
No,
Say
well,
it isn't so, Yu Suzuki, please.
I mean, they have like a long time for this game to be in the oven yet. So
They're
like,
running out of money, aren't they?
I mean, no, they actually just partnered up with Deep Silver to publish the game. So
I
they
actually did
have
see that
more
logo.
money.
Yeah, I actually did see that logo at the end. So, like, why did they even do a Kickstarter then?
So they had a Kickstarter. 'Cause it's not like they knew they were going to be with Deep Silver right off the bat. But like, obviously, they knew they were going to be. They probably knew that they were going to need more money than they initially thought. So maybe they teamed up with Deep Silver to publish it. Well, and obviously, the publisher is going to cover distribution and all that too, right? So, So yeah, they that's what they said. They said that they took out the facial animations and they decided to do a trailer without them for some reason, which is a really weird, really weird thought.
Yeah, which
but
really shows off their faces too, really close.
Yeah, but this game, we still probably got another 2 years on this game yet. So
it's going to take longer than the original Shenmue. Oh no, never mind. Shenmue, the first one, took like 12 years.
yeah,
So
I
never
mean,
mind.
I feel like we got a while on this game, and I'm not too worried about it just yet. So
I never played
Yeah.
two.
For me,
I haven't played either of them to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, I've never played either as well, and I'm kind of not really interested.
So what you're saying is that
I have a Dreamcast, so
what
I'm
you
like
guys are
waiting to get
saying
one.
is that what you are saying is that I'm the only one of the three of us to spend hours searching for sailors in Tokyo.
I guess so.
In a video game, yes.
Okay. As for your personal life,
So,
To be-
so
to
that's
be
what you did in
determined.
Seoul.
To be determined.
oh man.
Yeah,
Okay.
geez. I don't know, man. I'm waiting because I heard a rumor that they were going to do an HD remaster or something of the original Shenmue 1 and 2. But like I have a Dreamcast set up in my living room right now, and I got it all fancy schmancy with the VGA cables and all that stuff.
Right.
So I can go get a copy whenever I have money, but it's still going to run me like $40-$45 for a copy of Shenmue. So
Okay, so moving on. I know we talk about Overwatch every week, and I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest, but it's like they just keep coming out with like new stuff every week.
It's
God, you
incredible.
guys and your shitty games. I tell you what.
You never even played Overwatch, dude.
I played the beta. Okay, it's totally the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same game it was back then. So
On
they've
PS4.
revealed another brand new map, and this is a escort map called Junkertown. It's going to be set in Junkrat's hometown area, which is pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited about that.
And Roadhog lives there too, I'm pretty sure.
He lives there, but that's not his hometown, actually.
Is it not?
No, he's from New Zealand.
Roadhog is.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. You would know these things for whatever reason. I just trust everything you say about Overwatch.
Yeah, I like lore. What can I say? And did you know Mercy is actually a man?
I don't believe you.
There you go. So yeah, when they revealed this map, I actually kind of really liked it because they revealed, well, they had like a video trailer for it as well with Junkrat's plan to like steal or like kill the queen, basically, right? Or like take the gold. Yeah, I thought that was like really fun. I'm really happy they did that for the map because Junkrat is like one of my favorite characters in that game in terms of like a character, not necessarily to play, but he's just really fun and crazy.
Yeah. I know you're a big Joker fan, and I feel like there's some parallels there between those two characters.
Most definitely, yeah. And I've seen a couple bits of footage of people playing the map on the PTR, like from Gamescom and stuff, and the map actually looks pretty fun. It's got like a lot of high ground and like a lot of side ways to go, lots of flanking routes.
Yeah, I'm looking
pretty good.
I'm looking forward to actually seeing those videos as well. I haven't seen any gameplay, but I have seen like the video that shows them touring. Just kind of doing flyovers of the map. Did you see? I saw real quick on Twitter or something this morning that like Jeff Kaplan in Overwatch. I'm not sure if this is a joke, but I think they like apologized to the whole country of Australia because there's a sign, like there's like a fast food store or whatever somewhere on the map, and the sign says like takeout or whatever in like neon sign, and like it's actually everyone in Australia was like, "That's American. Here we say take away." It was like, and it became a big thing.
Oh my God.
And then he
really?
came out and he's like, yeah, and he goes, "I'm very sorry. We will fix this in a new patch." Literally.
That's pretty great.
So it's take
my
away in
God.
Australia. Yeah. So you're not getting anything by Australia. Yes. But
That's good stuff.
And then I have a question, okay, about
Yes.
Roadhog. This is a serious question here. I'm not joking. He's got 2 legs. He stands upright. He has 2 arms. Okay. He has that mask on that looks like a pig. Is he a man with a pig mask, or is he a pig? Like, is his head a pig's head with like a human body? Or is he like which is it? I've never seen him without his mask.
And you're serious?
I'm dead. Do you know the answer? I'm serious. I want to
Yes,
know.
it's just a mask.
It's just a
I think-
dude with a pig mask.
I think in the lore.
So condescend to me then. Like, oh, you dummy, you don't know what. It's a serious question.
I mean, I
He
think
looks
in the
like a
lore,
pig.
if I remember right, like something happened to him where like part of his face was burned or something like that, so he just always wears a mask.
But it's just a pig-shaped mask.
Yeah, like what are you telling me when you're using like the Mako skin on Roadhog? He's like part shark now.
I've never used that skin. I don't know. I don't play a lot of Roadhog. And it doesn't look like with that patch nerf, it doesn't look like I'm going to anytime soon either. So he's a regular dude just with a mask of an animal shape.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. He's basically in Slipknot,
Yes.
essentially. Okay.
And then also today they released their new animated short, 10 minutes long. I think the longest animated short they've released.
Yeah.
Featuring May.
It's going to be May.
It's gotta be May. You two saw it before we did this podcast. How do you guys feel?
Lie down. Try not to cry. Cry a lot.
See, it went by faster than I thought it would. When it was over, I was like, oh, is that already 10 minutes? Like, wow, like I was getting genuinely into the story. Every time I see one of these, I'm like, please, Blizzard, just make a full-length feature film. Like the actual studio that's putting these shorts out. I would watch a full movie based, with that.
Here.
It would be so cool. I think I inoculated myself a little bit with this short because I heard that it was like heartbreaking, and then I was like ready for it. But should we just spoil it? Should we just say what happens?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it just came out today. When this podcast is published, it'll be a day old. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, give it time.
What I'll say is, I guess the part that where people were really supposed to think is sad, like there's a very obvious reason why it's not sad if you like actually think about it. logically. So that's all I'll say. If we're not going to spoil it, so it wasn't that sad to me. Is point.
Yeah, I don't know. I found it kind of sad, like sadder than I expected it to be, because as I know, May is kind of like, oh, that bitch. Because whenever you play against her, right, it's like really annoying. You get frozen and then she shoots you in the head and it's like, hello.
She's this total troll character. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, she's gone through this history of just like, I hate playing against the May. But then it's like, oh yeah, she's a character with a backstory too. Like the short kind of reminded me of that. I thought that was kind of fun. Yeah,
no, it was great. And you really like get to know the characters really well in these animated shorts. My favorite still probably is Genji and Hanzo. And then Bastion is probably a close second. But I think we talked about this earlier, but I would hope they do one for every character eventually.
Yeah, hopefully.
That'd be super cool.
And then put them out in one package on one Blu-ray.
Hey, that would sell.
There you go. That's their feature film.
Our Blu-ray is going to still be a thing by the time that
We're
happens.
actually going to go back. We're going to go back to HD DVD. Actually,
yeah, HD DVD. Jeez.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't even know that was a thing until a few months ago.
Oof.
It's still not.
Wait,
a thing.
no, not. I'm sorry, not HD DVD. I'm not talking. I'm thinking of
Laserdisc.
No, it's
cassettes.
No, video CD, which was before DVDs, but after VHS.
Yeah, you could only put like 30 minutes of like 480p video on it.
Yeah, and then actually before that, there was actually HD VHS. Believe it or not, that is a thing.
Betamax, right? Isn't that what that was?
No, Betamax was pre VHS actually.
Ugh. Okay, I never watched an HD VHS.
Yeah, because they nobody had them, and they were very expensive for the time that they were a thing. So,
okay. So I kind of wanted to tell you guys about We Happy Few. What's been happening with that game recently?
Why?
Because it's some shit. So they recently paired up with a publisher, I believe, Gearbox.
Do a little bit of background on this, because I just remember seeing this game at E3 maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I thought it looked like BioShock. It actually had, at that E3 when it debuted, it actually had some pretty good will behind it. There was some buzz behind this game. So like, give it a little backstory here, because I'm not intimately familiar with this.
All right, so I'll back up a bit. As for just general reference, I did kickstart this game, so take my bias as you will.
I did kickstart Shenmue 3, so I guess I already have a copy of that coming.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm part of the problem.
So yeah, I did kickstart We Happy Few with the understanding that this was gonna kind of be an indie game by Compulsion Games, and it's basically like kind of 1984 Brave New World-y, if you've ever read those books. So essentially everyone's on this drug called joy, so everyone's manufactured to be happy. But like that's all you need in life, just take your drugs and be happy. Your character kind of suddenly realizes, like, how about no? So everyone calls him a downer. They send him to the slums, and now, like, through some story that they're still in the middle of writing, they're gonna have you go through like the area where everyone takes the drugs to be happy, and it's up to you to decide what you're gonna do. And it's like, I don't know, it's weird. They sell this as like a game with a really good story. And I think that's what caught everyone during E3. Like, I don't remember if the trailer showed that part, but there's a part where like, you walk into another person's office, and it's like this person was just coming back after a long time in the hospital or something. And you see like banners saying "Welcome back," but that the W, E, and L are falling off. And when you open the door, they all fall off. So all it just says is "Come back." Which is like pretty haunting. And then there's that scene with the piñata, and then you hit the piñata and it's actually a rat, and everyone's eating the rat guts instead of candy. But they all see it as candy. Yeah. Dark. So it's got really good like haunting stuff to it. But when they released it on early access, it was just a survival game. So it kind of
lost everything that gave it that kind of vibe.
Yeah. Because I remember being really sold on it. I'm like, whoa, that's some good shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's right up my alley, because like 1984 and Brave New World are some of my favorite books.
Okay.
So I was like, man, this is like in video game form. And instead, it's a survival game for a while.
It's Minecraft.
They've added stuff where like you're managing your happiness and whatever, and like it seems cool. I haven't jumped into that game in like a year. But they recently gave it a new update, and they said that this update is the last one until they officially release it on April 13, 2018. Also, we're pairing up with a publisher, Gearbox, and instead of selling the game for $30, we're going to sell it for $60 because it's going to apparently be a full AAA release in the next 6 months.
Wow.
Well, all right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. There are people who are like kind of angry at them for this because, you know, it's like for a long time, it just seemed like an indie game that was going to be sold for $30. And all of a sudden they're changing it up and pairing up with Gearbox, which, by the way, probably not the best choice.
Yeah, they don't have the most sparkling track record as we've explored previously.
Yeah, so that's a little rough. But here's the kicker, and I think you two will love this. Can you just like guess what's in the collector's edition that's running for $150?
So I have a guess. The main, and I don't know, but the main enemies have like these really creepy white masks on that make them like kind of fake smile and stuff, and it's just really off-putting, kind of like a sadistic mime almost kind of mask. So maybe one of those.
Yep, a replica.
Oh,
of
really?
that. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Any other guesses?
And you know why? That's kind of a low hanging fruit because like Dishonored, you know, kind of had that mask too. So that's kind of where I got that concept.
Is it you know, like the standard soundtrack and art book kind of deal too?
Yep, a vinyl soundtrack. Actually.
Vinyl comes with it.
Yeah, cool. Vinyl.
BioShock 2 had a vinyl.
Yeah,
yes,
and they're also throwing in a lamp and an alarm clock. But
what?
Do you think something's missing from that list?
Wait, hold on. You said they're throwing in a lamp and an alarm clock? Are you joking?
No, for real.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
but
is this one of those shitty collector's editions where they don't give you a copy of the fucking game?
Oh, right, the game.
I told you that was a thing. It's real.
Yeah, Battlefield 1 did that.
Yeah, and their reasoning for not throwing the game in the collector's edition is that so early access players can purchase the collector's edition separately without having to own 2 copies of the game.
Oh, good on you.
Yeah, that's smart of them.
Great job.
Yeah.
And what is this, $200 you said?
$150.
$150? Wow. So
Yeah.
$200 once you, or more than $200 once you buy the game.
Right.
You're looking at $230 after tax probably. For this game that like I forgot about completely.
Yeah. If you have it in early access, you'll get a copy of the game for free. So I guess you're saving yourself $30 for being an early adopter. But
when's it coming out?
April 2018.
Oh, of next month or next year. Okay.
Next year, yeah.
I don't think so.
I
don't know. It seemed good. It just seems like it's in development turmoil right now. You know?
Yeah, I just had so much excitement for the game. I'm hoping that when it officially comes out, that the story will be worth the wait, because I think that's going to be the strongest selling point of this game.
Okay.
But man, I don't know. It's going through some things that are making people nervous, including me.
Me too.
So
and
I don't know.
It's on PC, right? As well?
It's on PC.
Okay.
And Xbox and PS4. It will be on Xbox and PS4.
Okay. Well, there's another game coming to PC.
Yep.
Did you guys see the news?
I did.
And your thoughts? Well, let's say what it is first, Robert.
The Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition.
Yes. Oh, wait. pick the needle off the record when you say Windows Edition. Like what?
Yeah, Windows Edition.
What?
Yep, coming out early 2018.
Dude, I'm so excited. Have you guys seen the trailer?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I'm bittersweet on this because I had the game. It was given to me as a gift very generously last Christmas for PlayStation 4. And the whole time I was like, man, this game looks good, but it should be coming on PC. It should be. There was not word one about it, really. But Final Fantasy obviously has history of coming to PC. I can't even think of one that isn't on PC right now, if you guys can, like in the core line of Final Fantasy games. Anyways,
yeah.
Well, 12 yet. But like it's pretty much a foregone conclusion, right? That'll come.
Right.
But then this got announced and it has the full suite of NVIDIA GameWorks. So there's going to be like hair effects or tress effects or whatever the hell they call it, right?
Yeah.
And
ridiculous.
you know, so that'll destroy your frame rate basically. But man,
Yeah,
I can only
tessellation,
imagine.
man.
Yeah, I can only imagine how good this game is going to look on PC. Especially, I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for 16:9. I can tell you this: once it's on PC, if Square doesn't support 16:9, or I'm sorry, 21:9, if they don't support that ultra widescreen aspect ratio, it'll just get patched in by someone in the fan base, which is the beauty of PC. So I am so hyped for this, but now it's like, oh well, now I feel bad because I have this gift, and now I have, you know, I'm considering it, you know, turning it in for some credit or something for something stupid, you know, like I'm just like, I got this game sitting on my shelf. Do I even play it anymore when I know I'm going to play it on PC?
Yeah, see, I remember I played that game and I logged in like 97 hours into it because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
like, to
it's
the point
great.
where I did all the like end game dungeons, which by the way, don't do them. It's a waste of 40 hours of your life. It's just not worth doing it. But I told myself I'd play the game again after all the DLC is out, and I think by December all the important DLC will be out because let's be honest, Comrades is probably not going to be good. But yeah, they're gonna have all the like episodes that are featuring like your other 3 boys where you play as them. So I'm glad that the PC version is gonna be having all of that in with it. I don't know if you guys read that, but yeah, it's gonna be coming with all of the DLC and stuff.
That's how it should be. This is basically for people not really familiar with Final Fantasy 15. It's essentially a J-pop boy band that goes on a road trip. And it's awesome. And you're in a car, you're driving cross country.
Everyone's wearing leather.
So much leather, so many swords, so much stupidness.
So much broness
so many
going
spiky hairdos.
Yeah.
So many zippers and buckles.
Pretty great though, honestly.
Yeah, no, I say this lovingly.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see it come to PC because now I think when I'm going to play through it again with all the DLC, I'm probably going to play it on PC, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because the thing that Final Fantasy 15 really lacked when it, like even now, is the console to make it play at a proper frame rate.
Right, and
unless you had a PS4 Pro.
Right, but still that's 1080p upscaled to 4K. That's not native 4K like this PC version is going to be. So for people with 4K monitors or TVs, like this is, you know, going to be worth it, I think. And I'm not nearly as far into the game as you are, Robert. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to it.
You guys better clear some space on that, or some space on that hard drive, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we talk about the size of the game?
I don't know.
Allegedly?
What is it?
Take bets. I'm curious.
Okay.
Keep guessing.
120 gig?
Higher.
What? Higher than 120? I thought it was going to be like way. I thought you were going to like look at me like, no way. Higher than 100, dude. Metal Gear Solid 5 is like only 60, and that game is massive.
Higher.
Do you know too, Colin? You already know.
Yeah, I know.
160.
10
Higher.
more.
170 gig for one game. Unreal, dude. So that will literally not be able to fit on some people's hard drives.
Yeah.
If you have a solid state one, right? Like,
it's
damn.
insane.
Is that real?
It's alleged.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like 100% confirmed, but that's what a lot of people are reporting.
I can't imagine.
Swear.
What is the cost going to be to host those downloads for millions of people?
Couldn't tell you,
Unreal.
man. It's insane.
Dude, Square, it's like there's a little thing called compression.
Learn it.
Yeah, or I'm willing to bet that those are like 4K and 8K textures, maybe even, that they're just bundling in. Like you have to download them no matter what. You know, like, even if you have a computer that can't run the game at like super high textures.
Watch them like do what they did back in Super Nintendo and just charge $80 for the game because it takes up so much space. That's what Final Fantasy, I don't know if you guys know that, but that's what Final Fantasy 3 and like Chrono Trigger, they were like $80, $90 back in the day. And no one batted an eye, really.
Dude, that would take like probably 2 or 3 days for me to download that. Like,
you're on dial-up still. God, 56K modem.
Yeah, I don't want to make too big of a deal of this, but did you guys also see the Pocket Edition?
What?
Hooray,
What are you talking about?
The Pocket Edition.
There's going to be a Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition that you can play right on your phone.
Oh.
Your eyes just lit up, Jack.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. Hey,
no, it's like weird chibi but tall versions of the characters.
Will this link to Final Fantasy 15?
I don't know if it's like supposed to be a retelling of the story, but like the trailer is of the beginning scene, you know, where their car's broken down and they're all kind of laying around it, and they're like, all right, well, this, like Gladio's like, this car ain't gonna push itself, let's get into high gear.
Yeah.
And like everyone's pushing the car. It's like that scene is the trailer, but in all of their chibi forms.
What could be cool is if, like, you know, things you do in the mobile game connect to the PC game and affect it in some positive way. That could be cool.
It could be.
You know, because I could play that on my lunch break at work, come home, pick up progress. Like, I don't know. I doubt that's really going to happen, but just, you know, I just got ideas here.
Man, I just hate playing games on my phone, period. I just don't like to do it.
I don't do it anymore, but I used to. And it's kind of ironic that now that our phones can run practically any game, like, we're not playing them anymore.
Yeah. There's also been rumor, I believe the director of Final Fantasy 15 said that they want to bring the game to the Switch, but can't confirm how and or when and or if they would. You know, it's like
it's going to be that mobile version.
We want to port the game over to a bunch of other platforms, including one that rhymes with the word Twitch. So that's what they said.
Wait, that was a quote?
What if it's...
Are you quoting?
Yes, quote.
That's stupid. Why don't you just not say it?
I mean, because then it'll be real.
I get. Yeah, you say it 3 times, and now you got to make the game. It'll be the mobile game, like I said, Robert.
I hope it's not, but hey, I also don't care because playing any version of Final Fantasy 15 on the Switch, like, look, I love my Switch, would never play a game like Final Fantasy 15 on it.
Nah, I would run like shit.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to get to the Would You Rather. Play the music, Robert.
Uh-oh. Okay, I did it in post-processing. Let's go.
Boom, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, so the music is going. All right. Would you rather, guys? Are you ready? Are you prepared?
I'm always prepared.
Okay. Would you rather be fluent in every language on Earth, or would you rather know the answers to all the mysteries of the universe? Discuss.
Question. Would I be fluent in speaking and hearing the language, but also like reading and writing?
I think so.
So like I could read and write in like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Let me read my question again. Be fluent in every language on Earth. Fluent. So I would assume
reading and
that's
writing.
what fluent means, isn't it?
Well, there you go. Just thought I'd confirm.
Okay.
Even all dialects of like Swahili and some really like off the wall languages.
Sure, yeah. If it's on Earth,
crazy.
you know it.
I think. Go. Are you going, Robert? Because I don't want to take away from your turn.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I think that I would lean more towards knowing every language and being fluent in them, because the language barrier is still a serious thing, and knowing not only would you be knowing the language, you would have a better understanding of like different cultures and heritages, and even in the other side of things where you can know the answer to everything in the universe. I mean, you could still learn a lot by knowing every language under the sun. You could learn so much because you could talk to literally anyone and understand them. You could learn thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years worth of history. And like, I mean, you would be able to fully translate the Rosetta Stone. Like,
you could speak Ewok.
Like, exactly. Like, you could speak everything from Elvish to whatever that language, Dothraki, to like, you know,
Klingon.
Or
yeah,
what's the one in Avatar? Navi.
Yep.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so you'd be like a hit at the Ren Fair then. So
yeah, I could speak parcel tongue too, and all that.
The black speech of Mordor.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever that is.
Excuse you.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, AC phlegm. But I think.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. But I think knowing the every answer to like all the big questions of the universe and things like that, like knowing all of that, I think that would be not only a huge burden, because not only are you in a ginormous existential crisis at that point, but like you don't even know if you could tell someone that and they would even believe you. You know what I mean? Like, how do you convince someone that you know the answer to, like, you know, what is life? What is it? What does it mean to exist? Like, what, like, is time actually? I mean, well, obviously time isn't a real thing; it's a concept created by man. But like, you'd be
time is a consequence of what? Gravity and what? And matter.
I mean,
coexisting.
I mean, even knowing something as trivial as like, are we alone in the universe? Like, are we? Are there aliens? Like, knowing that shit, that would be a heavy thing to know. And not only that, would be like, if you had like some shit to back it somehow, you somehow had proof to back all this stuff, you'd be hunted down by the government probably or something. I don't know. But like, I could be rambling at this point, but it would be a huge burden to know shit like that. And I think I would much rather just kind of stick with knowing all my languages.
Blissfully ignorant, Colin.
Yes.
Let's move to, all right, so Kumbaya, sir. Let's move to Robert.
So I've got a lot of thoughts. One part of me is thinking, like, why does it matter if I know everything about the universe? Like, I agree with Colin in terms of, like, I couldn't convince anyone that I do. I probably couldn't. Even if I knew all that stuff, like, so what? I probably can't do anything about it. Like, I'm just one human boy. Whereas if I knew every language, I assume it'd come with it, like, at least understanding the culture enough to know why those words are translated in that way. Because, like, understanding a language is one thing, but understanding the culture behind it gives you a deeper, fuller understanding of the language that I think would probably come with fluency. So in that sense, that's kind of like knowing all the answers to the known universe, in terms of like what I can accomplish. You know what I mean? Like, in my lifetime, I'm probably not going to go, if I'm even lucky, anywhere beyond Mars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's not like I could do anything by knowing, like, what's beyond Jupiter.
Man.
Whereas if I know all the languages ever, I mean, it's not that hard for me to fly to Peru or fly to, like, New York or fly to Nepal. You know what I mean? Like, I can feasibly reach whatever place I need to use whatever powers I have as a person that understands any and all languages.
Right. And I mean, you've had so many doors open up to you, and not to mention, you could literally, if you knew every language known to man, you could literally change history. Like, you could completely understand, like, everything on the Rosetta Stone, the Dead Sea Scrolls, like, all those historical documents and everything that were previously people were having so much trouble translating. Like, hell, for all we know, hieroglyphics could be translated completely wrong. I
mean, you don't mean like change history, you mean like affect the course of history, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like, people that we thought was absolute fact, like, that we've been reading about in history books for, hundreds of years now. It could be like, nah, that's not what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm somewhat shocked though at the level of restraint both of you are displaying, and just like having that ability to know all these secrets and not wanting to. Like, it's very hard for me to imagine if this was real, like, going with you guys down this path.
Here's the thing. I have another side. But if I knew all the answers to the universe and whatever.
You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do what you're about to do. But go ahead and say it anyways, but you can't do it.
Like, here's the thing. A question someone may ask in our universe is, oh, what does that mean? And they'll point at a foreign language.
No, these are mutually exclusive, Roberts. You can't have your damn cake and eat it too. The mystery of the universe is not, how do you say, where's the toilet in Chinese? That's not considered a mystery of the universe.
But it could be one of the many mysteries of this universe. The universe in and of itself is infinite.
You don't even believe your lies right now, Robert. Why should I?
Okay, fine. What I was really going to say was... So, if I knew all the mysteries of the universe, would that come with an understanding of, like, if I know another planet has life, would I know where that planet is?
I would think so. Yeah. And not only that, see, this is why I'm like so shocked you guys are so quick to go with language, because you would also probably know the formula behind like either teleportation or like faster than light travel. I mean, if that's even possible, you would know like what a black hole does, what it is. Does it have power? Can it be harnessed? You would know a lot of crazy shit. Like, I don't know how I could resist that option. Rather than opting, like you said, Colin, to be like blissfully ignorant.
Right. I mean, it's so like, I mean, that just adding to it more, man. Like, that's like some serious power you got going on in your brain right now.
I think you could use it also to benefit just as much as you would from being able to speak to anybody or translate anything. I think you could harness this into a very lucrative career somehow if you displayed restraint in what you let other people know that you know.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If I knew all the answers to the universe, if I knew where all the planets that had other actual living life were, all I'd have to do is stroll up to NASA, knock on their door, and then probably be given the boot because, let's be honest, it's the government. So then I'll walk up to Elon's home, Elon Musk, and be like, hey, hello, Elon, how's it going?
He would listen to you,
You know that SpaceX thing? I know exactly where you should go with it. And maybe he gives me a Tesla.
I think he'd give you a job too, probably. But to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, for one, we already know the most important language, in the world, which is English. I mean, and the reason I say that is not like, oh, I'm just proud to know English. It's because 90% of the language on the internet is in English. So that it's the most important language to learn by that reason alone. So I already have that, we already have pretty much everything we need. I've never said to myself, like, if only I spoke this language, then all these other doors would be open to me. I mean, of course it does open opportunities, but not on the level of the other option, right? Of knowing all the crazy madness. I mean, you would probably know how to like open the fourth and fifth dimension, yourself. So you could keep all your stuff there. And then just like open the door, like, oh, here's my Coke. I just left here last week.
I think part of it may be that you as a question asker know exactly what you mean when you say mysteries of the universe. Whereas when I first heard that question, I just thought, I already know it. It's 42. Done. So, you know what I mean? Like my expectations were not quite perhaps the same of what you thought. Okay. Does that make sense?
Okay. Well, this isn't my question. Like, I've found this again, like, somewhere, right? So I'm just like thinking, like, well, Mysteries of the Universe, that's clearly all this awesome shit. I
mean, the mystery of the universe is, will Kingdom Hearts 3 be released next year?
That is a great mystery.
Oh shit, I know that. No, done.
Yeah.
Easy.
So you'll know to never look forward to it because it's just never coming out.
Or alternatively, I'll know exactly what galaxy that game will exist in, and I'll get to go there to play it.
Right. Yeah. You'll know exactly what timeline that game actually comes out in. You'll be able to travel there. You basically become, Rick from Rick and Morty because you'll be that smart. You'll know all the answers to the universe. You create, portals to other dimensions, and you'll be able to just come back and be like, hey, I got the game. But then you find out that it's actually time locked on your PS4 in this timeline, so that sucks.
Collin, you've just changed my mind. I'm never going with that option ever again. Languages it is. All right.
Wow.
No, I'm just kidding. Wow. All right. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
I think I'm probably going to lean toward knowing the answer to the universe, but not because of how cool it'd be to like.
Come on, it'd be cool. It would be cool. Just admit it.
It'd be cool, but that's not my reason. My reason would be because I would have a higher chance of meeting Elon Musk and getting a Tesla by knowing that shit than I do now.
What if like the truth of the universe, right, of all these mysteries that are unknown, what if it literally is such a just mind-blowing thing that you just like pass out in an aneurysm like the instant you know this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, what if your brain can't even handle it and then you're just like state the rest of your life?
It's possible.
I could see that happening. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's so much information.
It's heavy.
In your brain, dude. Like, what is it? Even with like the languages thing, isn't there like a person? There's like a person that is fluent in like 13 different languages or something like that.
Oh, easily. I'm sure that's a thing.
Like that's like the record though. I don't think it's much more than that. If that's not it.
There was some show in Russia. It was like, like their version of Russia's Got Talent or something like that, where this girl's talent was she was 6 years old and spoke 8 different languages like very fluently.
Holy crap.
Yeah, she's 6. So who knows? By the time she gets 10, she'll probably know more, like 13 or so, like you said.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you start kids that early with languages, they just absorb it like a sponge.
Yeah, that's the time.
That's the time to learn it. Easy to them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, guys. I think, what?
Yeah, that should.
No, what?
Okay, good.
Segues, guys. That's how we do it on Tiny Disc.
That's exactly how we do it. Speaking of, that podcast is almost over. You're reaching the end of the Tiny Disc podcast here. We're just going to do a little bit of house cleaning things. So when we were telling you to tweet to the hashtag TDP, we actually found out, don't tweet to the hashtag TDP, please. Instead,
see, when you tell people not to do it, they're going to be like, why? What happens?
Why?
Yeah,
what
just
happens?
Google it and tell me if you can wrap your head around it. But yeah, instead, if you want to tweet to us, you can tweet at us at Tiny Disc Podcast, or you can tweet using the hashtag TinyDisc, all one word. So yeah, that'll probably be the new hashtag we're going to try and get going. So definitely keep following that.
Feel free, though, in your free time, if you have that much free time, to just go ahead and find hashtag TDP and just let us know your thoughts. Just let us know your thoughts. So you can email us and reach us with your own feedback, your thoughts, concerns for the good of the cause. Also, if you have any would you rathers you'd like us to read online on air, and we'll do that. And just send any emails to tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. You can follow us on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook. Colin, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, so the Tiny Disc Facebook group, so it's a Facebook group that I, myself, am the mod on, and I, every week on Tuesday at 8 p.m., I do a live hangout and Q&A where I just hang out with you guys, have you guys ask me any questions in the comments, and I have make my own little docket up. I go through some stuff. I have what's called the State of the Podcast address, where I talk about, the different ideas we're coming up with the podcast, give you guys a little bit of a teaser for the episode for that week, and then I talk about some stuff that may not make the cut for the podcast, but stuff I'm interested in talking about. So it's kind of like my own little world there in the Tiny Disc Facebook group for the time being. But I also post as much as possible, try to get you guys involved. And just having a good time. And then, of course, I repost all of that stuff on the actual Tiny Disc official Facebook page as well. So go ahead and drop us a like if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. And we also just started a subreddit. If Reddit's your thing, you can find us on r/tinydisc. So you can subscribe to us there if you'd like as well. Also, if you really did enjoy this podcast, which I really hope you did, consider subscribing and leaving us a review on iTunes or whatever your podcast app is. But leaving us an iTunes review would definitely be very helpful for us. And we're actually also now on Stitcher. This is also the first time the other two people are hearing this on the podcast.
What even is that?
It's
what?
another podcasting platform that a lot of people use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stitcher.
Okay, as long as it's free.
Dropping news wherever I can. But I think that should wrap us up for this one. So where can we find you guys on the internet?
Oh, your brother, the regular deal, man. At @booboo__55, aka Colin Amano on Twitter.
At JACCEPEDA on Twitter. See you guys there.
Very nice. And you can find me, Robert, on Twitter and all the social medias at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. Thanks for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast, and we'll see you next Thursday.
So, Jack, Senran Kagura.
Actually, they announced a release date for Peach Beach Summer Blast.
Oh my god, what platform?
September 26th on, I don't know, everything like PS4, Xbox, your penis.
Can we do a Let's Play?
No.
What is this? Is this another? What's wrong with you people? Is this another like messed up anime?
No, it's the same thing as last week.
It's the same series we were talking about last week. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a Senran
I know
Kagura.
I know you
Peach
blocked
Beast.
it out of your mind. We're bringing it back. And I did see gameplay. It's a third-person shooter, but instead of guns, it's water guns. And you still strip people naked by shooting them.
Perfect.
You guys are all about this.
Yep, and there's DLC where they can wear like high school clothing, but then also like, wet t-shirt plus water equals.
Oh man, so it's R. Kelly Simulator 2017.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Coming out of the
Good
closet.
times. Good times.
Oh man.
Can we stop, please? Now. I need to curl up in the ball in the corner.
All right, yeah, we can end it here.
Okay. Bye.
Come home,
Bye-bye.
little soldier boy.
Bye.